This is the Son of the Law podcast. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Son of the Law podcast. I am your host, Jay Christopher. Joining me in my lovely home today is Mr. Ben St. Pierre. What's up, Ben?
I'm doing good, Chris. Good to be with you.
It's good to be for you to be here with us. We have a lot to talk about. Before we get to that, I want to thank our sponsors, Complete Auto Service in Richmond, Cutting Edge Landscapes in Lawson, and the Lawson Review, your hometown newspaper right here in the 64062. I don't know. Do you have somebody that does your auto service?
I do a lot of my auto service,
do your
but I'm supposed to say Walmart.
Oh yeah. What? Did you do stuff at Walmart in the auto service?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They push you to.
I had one of the top ACCs in the country.
What's the ACC?
Automotive Care Center.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you so successful in the ACC?
I would say prioritize safety, productivity, and performance over anything else, like accurate service. And it really comes down to, in order to get good customer acquisition, your customer has to make sure they understand that they're front and center. I can't speak for all Walmarts. I can speak for the teams that I ran and led, and I'm sure Complete Auto does an amazing job.
Sure, absolutely, they do. And we actually had Mark and Amanda on, and their approach is very similar with the customer in mind. I mean, they talk about complete auto service. They want to take care of the complete person. It's not just a mechanic. I'm a person who helps people get where they need to go, and that just kind of transforms the perspective of things.
Who's the counter guy at Complete Auto? There was a video that was put out of the counter guy, or a picture put out with all the things that he likes, and he made a comment: take care of your fluids. Fluids are cheaper than parts. That's what they said his comment was.
Fluids are cheaper
than parts. It's on their Facebook page, I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to look it up.
I can't remember.
I'm going to look it up right now and see if it is on there.
But I was like, I don't know who the guy was. It might be their son. I don't know.
It was a guy at the
at Complete Auto said, come in here and hang out with.
I bet it's Josiah.
Yep, that sounds like it.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. His biggest strengths include building genuine relationships with customers, finding common ground, creating trust, and for keeping explanations simple and focused. I'm looking for the.
It's towards the bottom. It's towards the very bottom. And you know what? That is probably key in being successful anywhere. If you're running a business, you hire the right people. You hire good people.
Yeah.
People walk in, they look around and see a trashy place. They decide whether or not they want to shop there. Yeah. They look around and see the employees, and they decide whether or not they want to work there. So if you hire good quality people, it's contagious. You'll continue to be able to hire good quality people.
Yeah, it's a direct reflection of the company, the products that you sell, and obviously their own individual images. This episode is brought to you by Complete Auto Service Center. If you've ever gone with the cheapest auto repair only to deal with the same problem again, you already know cheap isn't value. At Complete Auto Service Center, value means fixing it right the first time. Every visit includes a full inspection by experienced, certified technicians, plus a clear report that shows what's good, what needs attention right now, and what can wait. That means fewer surprises, smarter decisions, and a vehicle you can actually trust. And they don't waste your time. Your vehicle is inspected the same day, and they contact you quickly so you're never left wondering what's going on or what comes next. I've known Mark and Amanda for years. They've built a shop that treats customers like family, and family that stands behind their work with quality parts and a 36-month, 36,000-mile warranty. So before that small issue turns into a big repair, make Complete Auto Service Center your first call. Visit CompleteASC.com or stop by 718 Woolard Boulevard in Richmond. Complete Auto Service Center. Complete maintenance, complete repairs, complete peace of mind. So, that's awesome. Also, thanks to Cutting Edge Landscapes, this time of year, they are promoting multiple rounds. Like if you do all 5 rounds, you get a round for free. And I can attest to the lawn care regimen that they put out. It's crazy. Like 2 years ago, before they started, I had dandelions, I had all kinds of stuff. And then they started treating the yard. It's literally just green now.
Yeah, so, that's cool. That's awesome.
It's crazy. Yeah. So when I mow, I can see lines now, and I never could see them before because it looked like a field.
Yeah, it looks good out there.
Thanks. This episode is brought to you by Cutting Edge Landscapes in Lawson, Missouri. Spring is almost here, and if you're ready for a lawn that actually turns heads this year, now's the time to call Cutting Edge Landscapes. I've trusted them with my own yard, and I can tell you firsthand, the results speak for themselves. Thicker grass, richer color, a lawn that looks professionally cared for because it is. Right now, they're offering a limited time early bird special. When you sign up for all 5 rounds of their professional lawn treatment program, you'll get 50% off aeration or 1 full application absolutely free. It's your choice. And they don't just do lawn treatments. Cutting Edge Landscapes handles everything. Custom landscaping, beautiful hardscapes, sprinkler systems, all completed by licensed professionals who take pride in every detail. With over 40 years serving our community, they've built a reputation for quality work and fair pricing that you can trust. Spring schedules fill up fast, so don't wait. Call Kent and Brandon today, 816-580-3343, or visit callcuttingedge.com. Cutting Edge Landscapes. Your lawn will thank you. Oh, very good. All right. Also, thanks to all of you for supporting the show. You are why we do this and what this is all about. Don't forget to message us for merch on Instagram at Son of the Law Podcast, or shoot me a good old-fashioned Gmail at sonofthelaw@gmail.com. Encourage people to follow the show, turn those notifications on that you can be ready for the next episode. Reminder, we drop every other Monday at 6 a.m. so that drive to work or never miss a Monday workout can be extra special. Do you work out?
I do.
How do you work out?
I'll do like 3 sets of 40 push-ups in the morning before I hit the road, or
3 sets of 40 push-ups.
Yeah.
Just rip 40 push-ups out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at you.
I have to. I got to keep up with 5 kids.
Sing. How fast do you do your push-ups? Do you just rip them out?
No,
just rip them out?
I try to get as low as I can.
All the way to the floor?
Yeah. And there's different styles you can do of push-ups. So I used to, when I was younger, I just focused on what was called plyometrics. So I played basketball.
Yeah.
And,
jump training, right?
Yep. And so I spent a lot of time with that. And it was all about, the only things I ever worked out were the motions that I'd go through for rebounding, dunking, things like that. So I just spent a ton of time investing in like shoulder rotation, presses, lunges, anything that had to do with increasing vertical leap. Now, all I do is just try to do anything I can to be a good defensive driver. And so that's push-ups are all it takes to hold the wheel in the right place.
Hold the wheel in the right place.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Like,
awesome. Okay. Let me introduce you. We didn't really do that yet. I don't even know actually how to introduce you. We've met just one time.
Yeah.
We met for coffee, and I don't know. I don't want to fluff you too much here, but I feel like we're fast friends, and I think think you'll see how cool you are. Others will see how cool you are very quickly. I got to know you through a recommendation from Chris Weir, just rando text out of the blue. He's like, yeah, you really need to talk to this guy. Dynamic home life, kind of got a Joseph complex. Joseph, famous Bible character, where, he kind of makes lemonade out of all the lemons he's been dealt. And hardworking dude, not afraid to make major lifestyle changes, which we've talked through and we'll talk about today. Kind of a successful contractor. And now you kind of find yourself in this pastor role in Rayville. Yep. And I think when people dig into your story a little bit, which we will here today and hopefully in future episodes as we talked, they'll see just how significant of life changes you've made. And that is something just personally that I want to get to know more about, because I think, we hear people, the proverbial golden handcuffs, they get into a job and then suddenly they're strapped and they're living paycheck to paycheck with making a whole bunch of money, and they can't get out of it and do the thing that they really want to do or love, or so that's tough. And so you've just kind of shaken all that stuff off, found yourself as successful in many different genres or business lines, and here you are today doing something else that you love.
Yeah. Hanging out with you, Chris, drinking coffee again.
That's How much coffee do you drink in a day?
Too much. I've had 3 cups today so far. This is the strongest cup I've drank today so far, is the one that you made.
Well, thank Mark and Amanda Guy's daughter, Julia. And she brought that coffee back from Honduras. And
really?
Yeah, she did. That's cool. Now we run it through the machine and we think of Julia every time.
That's awesome.
This episode is brought to you by the Lawson Review. Since April 8th, 1881, one thing has never stopped in Lawson, Missouri: the local newspaper. From the very first printing of the Lawson Gazette to today's Lawson Review, this is the county's oldest newspaper with uninterrupted publication. Generations have lived it, written it, and read it week after week. The Lawson Review isn't just news. It's school events, local sports, city decisions, community voices, and the stories that may not make the big city headlines, but matter most right here at home. A subscription is just $29 for 1 year or $51 for 2 years. It's an affordable way to support local journalism and stay connected to your community. Contact the Lawson Review at lawsonreview@gmail.com. Visit at 405 North Pennsylvania, Lawson, Missouri, or call 816-296-3412. The Lawson Review, your hometown paper, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let's introduce you in the way I know you. You're friendly. I find you to be very confident in your perspectives, but unassuming in your approach. Definitely interesting. I have seen you to be an excellent conversationalist. That's just been my experience. We'll let other people decide.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I also think you're very good at, I'm going to call you a convo flipper. That is somebody who you initially start asking them questions and they answer them. And then somewhere along the line, they flip the conversation and you're doing most of the talking. Which is a skill that I think you practice, and I'm just not sure how you do it, but I like to learn from people like you.
I'm a curious person. I'm really curious.
Okay. You also have some amazing stories. What kind of watch do you wear?
This is a Tissot.
Tissot? It's a watch?
It's a watch. It's actually, my wife bought me this watch for just because I'm awesome. No, she bought this watch for me for Christmas. I have 2 things that are most treasured to me in life.
Okay.
And one is my Water Buffalo Hide Bible.
Okay.
It's incredible Bible.
Water Buffalo?
Water Buffalo, yeah.
There's a VeggieTales song about a water buffalo, isn't there?
Yeah. I don't think it does the story
it's
justice,
unrelated?
right?
Okay.
But I love it. You know what's interesting about the water buffalo is the water buffalo is one of the most dangerous creatures, right?
Really?
It's extremely dangerous. It does so much destruction, but yet under the right circumstances and under control and conditioned, a little kid can walk it through a rice paddy and make it do amazing things out in the middle of India, right? And so I think about the things in life that are so wild and out of control, or even the people that are so out of control, and yet the words contained in that book can do some things to make the most wild and insane person, bring them into subjection and lead them to do some pretty amazing things.
That's awesome.
And so like that Bible's one of that. I got that as a gift from my wife. And
really?
Really special book. And
where do you find water buffalo skin Bibles?
So this is a very specific Bible that I'd wanted for a long time, and she never knew it. And she asked my brother one day, she goes, if I bought something for Ben, what do you think he'd want? And he said, my older brother goes, I think he's been wanting this Bible. And she's like, okay, I'll get that. She went home. The Bible's like $300. So I don't think she was expecting. She looked and was trying to find one, I think, on clearance. But
yeah, happy birthday and happy Christmas and happy Father's Day and all the things, right?
Exactly.
To justify the purchase.
Exactly. And same with this watch. Like, so those are the 2 most important things to me. Are like,
can I see it?
Yeah.
I'm going to hold it in my hands and describe it to people.
The Word of God and time. And those are the two most precious things that you have.
Very good. We have a approximately, we're going to go 44 mm. And then not a rotating bezel, black leather straps.
You know why? You know what that one's for?
What is this one for?
It's designed for tracking speed on a racetrack. So you can use that. You can use that dial to tell how fast someone's going on a racetrack. So when you see the mile markers, like the Indy 500 or things like that, you can start the timer. It'll go around, and when you stop it at the next marker or at the 1 mile, that tells how fast they're going.
Okay.
So the longer it takes to go around, the less speed, obviously, that they were able to hit. So
the numbers on the tachymeter are 400, 300, 240, 200. And so point to point, that is the speed with which the car is traveling
from the top. So once you hit start on it,
400 miles an hour, 300 miles an hour, and so on and so forth.
And so you have to hit stop right at that moment they cross that mile marker. But I can also tell the direction of like north, south, east, and west. But you can do that with most dial watches.
How do you tell it on that watch? Is there a
it's super complex here. I don't want to run anyone off. They'll quit listening. Dude, but you have to line up the sun between the dials and then rotate in whatever way it's facing is north.
Okay.
So it's super complex. We can go out there and do a Boy Scout adventure if you want sometime.
You know, I think that would be fantastic.
It's pretty cool.
Well, see, these are the things, believe it or not, that people enjoy listening to the most. Like you can watch the show statistics. Like we'll talk about absolutely nothing for like 20 minutes, and people laugh and love it, and they talk to me about it and everything like that. And then we actually get to the content, and the stuff just falls off. So I'm like, either we got to find more content, or we just need to crap around more.
We got to talk about finding direction with a watch. No, nobody really like you can't do that with an Apple Watch.
You can't.
Like it won't even last a day.
No.
So without a charger. So don't get lost with an Apple Watch.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm sporting the Casio Pro Trek.
Oh, are you?
Like, yeah, it's like
is that like a diving watch?
No,
it's a sports watch.
It's got an altimeter on it, barometric pressure, different things like that. And once upon a time, I fancied myself a climber. I like to climb high altitude 14ers out in Colorado. And, different routes require you to make different decisions at different altitudes. And then the barometric pressure is interesting because you can be hiking along, and if the barometric pressure changes, it's a low pressure coming in. So you're watching that dial dive down. A couple, 3 hours later, it's not going to look good for you when a storm or something comes in. So you can make safety decisions, and you can make route finding decisions all by looking at the watch that's on your hand. So that's kind of the direction.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I'm looking for something now that's a little more professional. So I'll
try to set you up. I'll look for something for you.
Let's talk.
Next time we hang out, I'll bring you something professional. So you can wear it with your tuxedo, James Bond.
I'm thinking it'd be like a Swatch watch or something,
Okay.
One of those neon yellow or green ones.
Oh, man.
Okay. Let's jump in 5 minutes, because we're going to spend a lot of time talking about many of these things individually. Yeah. So in 5 minutes or less, tell us how you were, where you were maybe kind of born and raised, a little bit about your family, school, community, and how people in the area might know you.
Yeah. So I don't know how many people would actually know me around here unless they worked for me, or most of them know me from my wife and my wife's family. So I was actually born and raised in Alaska, Oklahoma. Spent a lot of my early childhood there. I spent most of my childhood in those two areas. I grew up in a pretty large family. So I have 5 kids. People say that's a big family. I grew up with 10 brothers. There was 10 of us in our family. So I had 9 brothers and sisters. There was 6 boys and 4 girls.
Where were you in the order?
I was number 6.
Can you rattle off the names of all the kids quickly?
Yeah. David, Annette, Nate, Steve, Gina, Ben, Joe, Crystal, John, and Melissa. It doesn't sound like 10 when you go that fast. And there was even 2 more in between there that were older than me that passed and are gone. But yeah, it's really cool growing up in a big family.
Sure.
So I was never without friends, never without enemies. I mean, they both come together, right? And everyone
Especially
wanted to be at
family.
yeah. Everyone wanted to be at our house because there was kids of all ages there.
Yeah.
So it's easy for us to be the house that kids always were drawn to. So I didn't spend a lot of time going to other people's houses. So they came over to our house a lot. And yeah, it was a really exciting thing to grow up in a big family. We didn't spend a lot of time watching television. Our lifestyle was really sports involved, and we played a lot of sports in our backyard and in the street, rode bikes, did stuff like that. Just very outdoorsy.
Yeah,
and we traveled quite a bit, but through those years, there wasn't a lot of, when we say closeness, like how you might see grandpas and grandmas, and maybe you don't see them this way. A lot of people from around the community are like really close to grandma and grandpa.
right.
I might have seen my grandpa and grandma like 4 or 5 times.
Totally.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and it, I mean, there was one stint where I was around my grandpa and grandma for like an extended period of time because we stayed with them for just a short time when we moved up to Maine. But people think that that's weird, and that's my normal. So I think it's pretty interesting just to see the different approaches in life. You see what you missed, but you're also grateful that the fact that you can kind of move forward without having to restrict yourself to certain things. So,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
In college, it's related and unrelated. There were some recruiters that were coming to the area to challenge prospective students to, maybe come work for them. And we would get very few recruiters from the East Coast or the West Coast or whatnot that would come to the school I attended. And when asked about that, they just talked about how the people in this community or in these communities, because they're so tethered to their families and whatnot, that they're often unwilling to move. They just self-limiting, just right out of the gate. They're unwilling to move, unwilling to transition. So you can kind of shake that off. What's that?
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school at Northwest Missouri State in Maryville.
Okay, so they couldn't get you out east. I'm just kidding.
Well, I had opportunities and didn't take them for all the reasons. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then all the while I'm like silently identifying with those people that wouldn't move.
You
like my family's here. I'm not going anywhere. This is awesome. So
that's great.
Okay, born and raised.
Yeah, I grew up
5 kids.
I have 5 kids.
Okay.
I married a girl from Rayville, Missouri. Awesome lady. Her family, most of them are from around this area. So that she has relatives all through Lawson, Richmond, Rayville, Excelsior, the extended area. She's always gone to school, church, the same church, and just an awesome family. But man, I was going to tell you something else before we jumped into the wife and 5 kids. I didn't want to jump into that so early. I'm just kidding. I went to school in Arkansas. That's what I was going to tell you. Yeah. I went to school in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and then I met my wife when I had just got out of college. I'd come up here, and I met my wife, and we got married just after a short time, and then we've traveled the country we traveled for almost 12 years together, running around from place to place, her following me as I followed my job. And so, just build a lot of relationships. I know a lot of people in a lot of different places, but I don't know a lot of people real well. So, it's been a good ride, good trip. And I'm ready to see
how long have you been in Rayville now?
Almost 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're putting some roots down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was just telling somebody the other day, I have been here 2 years and I thought I'd be looking to move again because that's what I do normally. I would have moved multiple times, but I think I've moved 31 times since I was born.
In how many years? And how many
I'm
years?
41.
31 times in 41 years. That
31 times.
That's a lot of times.
That's a lot of times. Yeah. Yeah.
That's, I don't know. There's this whatever the
1.2
percentage is that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving here 1.2 years.
Every 1.25 years,
Yeah.
right? 1.22. I'll let somebody else do the math.
Yeah, the high carry that out the decimal places.
There's somebody over there fact checking us right now out there. Be like, how much?
That's 1.18.
He doesn't know anything.
Idiot.
And he does numbers. Yeah. No, I moved a lot, but that stuff doesn't bother me. Where you live doesn't have any bearing on you if you are there with purpose. And I think we'll talk a lot about that later.
Most definitely. And let's jump right in there because we've already shared a few things that people would not know about you or be surprised to discover. And these rapid fire questions as we jump in here are designed to go quick. I will often ask a few follow-up questions.
Yeah.
But try to stop me from doing that, right? Because I think it's fun. But I also think just through our conversation over coffee, I learned that you've got these little sayings that I think you kind of live by. They're almost mantra-like. And I think that demonstrates how your mind thinks. And so I'm interested to see if some of those pop out here in these rapid fires. What's harder, raising 5 kids or leading adults in a church?
Raising 5 kids.
Rank these: pride, fear, comfort. Most dangerous to least.
Pride, definitely the most dangerous. I would say comfort would have to be the second most dangerous, believe it or not, and then fear.
Okay.
I think being comfortable and being held back. I think a lot of people are held back by comfort.
Mm-hmm.
I think they get to the wrong places by pride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get one: financial security or absolute purpose. No overlap. What do you take?
Absolute purpose.
He's like dialed. He's like, that's
not even a question. That's not a real thing.
What is more exhausting, pretending or actually changing?
Oh man.
You pretending.
Mm-hmm. Pretending is way harder.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get into. It is hard to continue living it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What would you rather be misunderstood or overlooked?
Misunderstood.
Okay.
Maybe that wouldn't have been what I said when I started out as a child, as a young man. I was like, but I think if people are truly evaluating what you are saying,
mm-hmm.
they're going to come back with questions. Most of the time you're misunderstood is because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to know in the first place.
Like
I would rather be misunderstood than ignored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Which shaped you more, the assault or your daughter's cancer journey?
Ooh, man.
Little foreshadowing of what's to come.
Yeah. So the assault, I think, shaped me independently more. The cancer journey, I think, shaped our family and how I relate to people.
Good feedback.
So
good.
I think it's
rank these in importance right now: faith, family, impact, rest.
Ooh, faith, family, impact, rest. I'm going to keep them there.
You like that order?
Yeah. I don't spend a lot of time with rest.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. What was your question? I can already feel it.
No, that's it. It's no question. It's like it's more of a statement. A classic word I live by is "I'll rest when I'm dead."
Yeah,
like I'll sleep when there's time to sleep. Like I don't have time right now. If I get something on my mind, if I want to focus, I'm dialed. I'm dialed. So that's definitely last for me.
Yeah, a lot of people think impact or impact last, mm-hmm. or maybe impact. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think you have faith and family in the right order, you'll make the right impact. Mm-hmm. Rest, it's subjective. Like what is that?
Mm-hmm. If you could go back, would you slow down your career climb or push harder?
Oh, push harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's more dangerous, success too early or failure too late?
Failure too late. Yeah, I don't think there's coming back from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of weigh really heavy on that. Success too early can be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it tells you that you weren't in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't get a second shot either if you're successful too early. But once again, that's another one of those subjective things. Like you might only get one chance to fail, and if you fail too late, then you can grow a lot more through success. You can grow a lot through failure. But if you fail at the end, like what's the point?
Yeah,
Right?
I got another comment and question for that. We'll
Yeah.
get to that here in a moment. You can fix one problem in people instantly: pride, laziness, or fear. What are you choosing?
Man,
You can fix one: pride, laziness, or fear.
I've tried to fix all those in people. It's never been successful. But if I had a superpower to fix one, it would be pride.
Pride.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I hate pride.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's deep. Would you rather know God's full plan for your life or have trust in him daily without clarity? Right?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a poke in the ribs.
I don't remember us talking about this at the pre warm up. I would say I personally would want the latter. I don't think I'd want to know every fine detail. I would probably not be as energetic. I wouldn't be seeking him every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you there too. I think younger man in me would have chosen to know the path so that I could have immediate security in knowing what was going forward. But the older, more experienced version of myself looks back on things that were super difficult, super challenging. Struggle is real at the time. And now
for sure,
on the back end, I realized what it was doing in me, and looking back, hindsight's always 20/20. So
right.
I feel that way too. Which is harder, forgiving someone else or admitting that you were the problem?
Oh, forgiving someone else.
You think that's harder?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen to how many people say, "Oh, I messed up," or even when they forgive, they come to you with a situation where like, man, I messed up, or I did this. A lot of times they're just wanting the other person to say, I messed up too. So sincerity in either one, I think forgiving's harder. I think it's like a poison that just sits inside. Because that takes some work.
It does. It does.
And I think about it like this: can I talk about this?
Yeah.
Or do we need a way?
Bro, let's roll.
Hey, okay.
This is your episode.
So hear me out. Have you ever heard? Have you ever had a surgery? Have you ever been injured? Okay.
Yeah.
So did you have to go to physical therapy afterwards?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had
Why?
I had an ACL reconstruction in like 2006.
So you had a terrible surgeon, is what you're saying?
No, completely reconstruction of my knee.
So he didn't fix you then.
Well, he fixed me, but then I had to.
He didn't.
What do you mean?
You had to go to physical therapy afterwards, right?
Well,
so
yeah.
And was physical therapy painful?
It was terribly painful.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yeah, I'm making a joke about this and making light of this. So your surgeon was incredible, and he fixed the problem,
right?
But then you had to live through the physical therapy of it. Okay. So we have the mistake that's made, or we have this problem that exists in our life, right? And then all of a sudden we're like, okay, we want to make amends. We want to make it right. Saying I'm sorry, saying I forgive you, the apologies and everything, that's like getting your ACL fixed.
That's the surgery.
Okay. Now, when you went to therapy, was it painful?
Yeah, there was consequences I had to live with thereafter.
Almost more painful than walking around with a tore ACL.
Yeah, I still feel it. I still feel it. Like the nerves never healed fully and all that. So,
and I learned something just recently because I've had 3 ACL surgeries. So that's interesting that's where you went. Those 2 ligaments, there's different types of ways that they just kind of keep your leg in line, and your muscles are actually the thing that keeps your leg from refalling apart. So I didn't know that my leg actually fell apart again because I didn't maintain and focus on the right thing.
The strength.
Yeah. And so that therapy portion, that's the forgiveness part. So it's a continuation of the right attitude, knowing that there's painful things that come to mind when you see that person. There's painful feelings when you go through a similar situation and you lack trust for somebody, maybe a completely different person who doesn't deserve that lack of trust. So forgiveness is not like a one-time shot and it's done. That's why the 70 times 7 conversation in the Bible happens, because this is your workout. Like this is, you're going through physical therapy.
Daily grind.
Yeah, this is spiritual physical therapy. And a lot of people think, well, I forgave. And then they don't actually forgive the right way, right? So showing up to the physical therapist, showing up in the presence of God saying, God, please help this person.
Yeah.
God, please bless this person who offended me. God, please
forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, forgive them for they know not. That. It's just, that's the physical therapy. And it's sometimes more painful than the actual problem.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was looking at that and before you started talking, and I could be convinced to go the direction you've gone, but before you started talking, my immediate answer was admitting that I'm the problem. And I think the human condition says everybody else is wrong. I'm perfect. I identify with the hero more than the villain. And in reality, when the common denominator is regularly happening in my own life, it's like, wait a second, that's me. Oh, wait, me again. If I hadn't have done that, this whole line of thing wouldn't have, changed. And heard a message recently that talked about how, when you get in conflict or different things, if you own a slice of the pie, like if the responsibility of what happened in the conflict or whatever was a pie, and you could pick a slice of what you owned to be a part of how the conflict started. Yeah. If you own a slice of any of the responsibility, you have to be nice. And it's
absolutely.
You have to figure that out, work, towards amicable resolution because of some humility that you now need to show, and pride is one of my weak points. Sometimes I feel like, oh man, I've got that figured out, or this is going great or whatever. And then you just get slapped down.
Right. That's the crazy. I think you're right in your approach, because and neither of those things are wrong, because they're kind of two parallel streets. Because if you don't forgive, you are the problem,
right?
You're still part of the problem. And I don't believe that forgiveness is, a lot of people think that if I don't forgive, I'm just letting them walk all over me and they're going to do it again. And I don't know what kind of powers that you think you have over everyone else out there. You may have some pretty incredible superpowers, but I don't know what kind of powers and authority that you think you might have over the rest of the world. But in a spiritual sense, we know that forgiveness is not saying, okay, you can just do whatever you want. Forgiveness is taking the accountability and place it in the hands of God and say, guess what? Now he's the one in charge of the accountability, because I'm no longer holding the bag. And that's a scary place to be. I would be more afraid to be the person on the other side of forgiveness who didn't want to reconcile things, knowing that, hey, this person genuinely forgave me and they gave the accountability over to God. Like, that would be a tough place to be. I could deal with anything you throw at me, most anything. Maybe I probably couldn't take a punch anymore.
Ow.
I could handle most everything with it. But I couldn't handle the justice and judgment of God, right? So I think it's forgive early, move forward, and reconcile those relationships.
Along the way.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
What is... Oh, dang it. Where is it? You get 10... Here it is. You get 10 seconds with your 20-year-old self. What do you say?
Oh, man. As probably 10 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
No, I think I would.
Well, this is awkward.
I think I'd ask my. So how are things?
Anyway,
I think I'd have to tell myself that it's that the environments that you put yourself in have as much to do about how you control yourself. I think I would also remind myself that be curious and ask more questions and evaluate the people that I'm getting the answers from. Does their life line out with that? Does their attitude reflect an attitude of happiness? They're telling you how to be happy.
Yeah.
And I think that would be about my 10 seconds, but
yeah, that's excellent. That question was prompted by a, is that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. That question was prompted by a conversation I had with my son. We had the day together on Saturday, and we're just driving somewhere in Excelsior, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, if you could go back and talk to your 20-year-old self, what would you say?" And I came up with something non-eventful at the time. I just tell myself to relax or figure some things out. But then I asked him, "What would you want your 40-year-old self to come back and tell you?" And, he had a couple of things that sounded an awful lot like what I had said. I'd breathe, some of the suggestions or advice you'd give your 20-year-old self. And I said, "You want to really bend your mind? I can't go back and change, but your world is ahead of you." Like literally.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's good.
And you have resources and men around you and faith and fellowship and people around you that can help you in ways that your world is your oyster. Whereas like we talked there at the beginning, failing late, is very difficult to overcome. So get it started early. All right. Ask the next guest one question that they won't be able to dodge.
You want me to ask you a question?
No, the next guest. The next person who's sitting in that chair.
I guess this is the question that you need to ask the next guy. What is holding him back or her back? What's holding them back from... can I rephrase that?
Sure.
Let's kick back just a second.
Let's kick back.
What?
Let's relax.
Because I did not prepare anything like that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to ask me a question about whatever. I thought you were going to ask me a random question. I was like, man, this is like, he's got his 8-ball over there. He's like, turn it over. You remember that? Okay. So what would I ask the next guest? I have a ton of questions, but man, I want to make sure that it's fitting for all audiences.
Yeah, because you don't know who it's going to be.
No. I think one thing in life that I always tell people is if it's important, make it important. So what important things are you continuing to neglect every day that you keep saying a priority in your life? That's a pretty mean question.
Well, you don't.
I hope they don't know who I am.
What important things are you continuing to neglect that you say are important in life?
That you identify as important. Should it be a nice question?
I think it's a good question.
I've spent my life questioning people, and it's questions like, so tell me about a time when you had to solve a difficult problem.
Oh, yeah.
What resources did you use?
It's a situation, action, result-based question for the Walmarts.
Yeah, that's not one of those questions. It's like...
okay, final one. Are you becoming who you thought you'd be or somebody else completely different?
Somebody else completely different. Yeah.
All right. So that's our intro and we're 40 minutes in. So, we're definitely going a few episodes here and thank you for your willingness to do this. Again, I am not in the business of hurrying. And as I think as people can tell, you got a lot to offer. They like how you think. And so let's just start at the beginning and see where we go.
Yeah. Was there anything that was a surprise to you? Any of those in our conversation, was there something that surprised you?
Here in this,
there was one that you seemed really like set back by, like.
Well, I think the one where we were talking about
forgiveness.
Yeah, forgiveness, or whether or not you're the problem.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I was looking at that completely differently than you were, and again, I can be compelled to see the opposite side.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you know, there's no spiritual gotchas.
Yeah.
And
no.
But I liked how you tied it to forgiveness being the thing that is somebody else's to do, and somebody else handles that. Then that same, I think, can be said for acknowledging that you have the problem, that you're insufficient, that you're unable to live a perfect life without, you know, a Christ-like Savior. And, you know, it takes a spirit of brokenness that is often the lowest point in people's lives to realize that they need a Savior and they need whatever. And so that was the spirit and the tone with which I was thinking, but I don't know. I think it's the nature of a question like that in these, is that they can work based on who's sitting in the chair and your experiences. So it's great.
Yeah. That's true. I think a lot of it has to do with like where you're at in the equation, right? Sometimes you're in a different place, or you're in a different spot than somebody else, and your response is going to be significantly different. I think it brings a lot of value just to identify where you're at. You really do have to just reflect on what's necessary. I think understanding that you need forgiveness and understanding that others deserve forgiveness is a big deal.
Agreed.
So both of those things I think are important. For some, I thought there was one like two before that you're like, oh, really? Not when we were juggling, but that's okay. Let's we're gonna talk
Maybe
about
we'll
more
come back.
stuff.
Maybe we'll come back. Let's start with your early life. You know, you mentioned born into a pretty unique environment, Alaska. You failed to mention it, but I knew this, so I'll bring it out. Your dad was an Air Force dad.
Yeah.
You know, so you were kind of traveling all over with him. He was a Vietnam vet. Well, like lots of kids, clearly. Irish Catholic, sounds like. Lots of kids, family there.
French Catholic? French Catholic background.
What was your childhood really like? You know, your dad maybe wasn't always a believer. What do you remember about that season?
Yeah, so I grew up in a home where my dad was a really young believer. He was getting really interested in spiritual things, but my dad came from a pretty rough background. We take for granted a lot of the things, how life is. My dad came from pretty rough background, a heavily alcoholic family, something that actually defined his lifestyle from a very young age. And a lot of my cousins on that side, I even just met one just recently, and he's like, man, my dad was the fun drunk. Your dad was the angry drunk. And I'm like, really? He's a lot older cousin than I am. But what's crazy is his dad passed away. His dad died from alcoholism, actually a DUI, driving under influence or something, or drinking or driving. I think he hit somebody, and he was killed. That was his dad. His brother also died from alcoholism, and several of my dad's other brothers. My dad is alive today still, and went into recognizing that he needed more than himself, and he needed more than alcohol, and he needed more than these strange addictions to get him through and sustain him in life. And he turned to the cross, and our whole family dynamic changed significantly in our household. Our relationship with Christianity, or the church, the cross, a relationship with Jesus Christ. And my dad became a very devoted believer. And so there's things when you are when you allow yourself to be controlled by substance. Don't think that you aren't going to have negative outcomes because you had this long period of abuse and then they just go away, right? And so there's these people who will have long years of alcohol abuse, and then they'll have liver disease and they'll be like, I don't deserve this. Well, you still are accountable to those things. And there's still other things that are repercussions of that decision that you made. So my dad, one thing that he strongly focused on is his temperament. He can be very dynamic and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that, even though I never was under the influence of alcohol, I began to adopt that trait because that was the trait that I saw. And so
the anger,
the quick frustration. Yeah. But, you talk to my dad now, he's a very, passionate, caring, peaceful man. God has done an amazing thing in him. And, when he trusted Christ, he went home, he poured all of his alcohol down the sink, dumped it, gone. It was like, there wasn't a process that he went through to get
cold
there.
turkey.
He knew that this wasn't something that I can do. It's not something that I can manage, right? There's people out there who can manage things in their life. They can have self-control in certain areas. He's like, I'm not even gonna make it an option.
Right.
And so he knew that thing took him to places that he just didn't want to be. So when he became a Christian, that he started to separate himself from like gambling addiction, like alcoholism, things like that. And so I got to grow up in a home with a dad that was quickly growing as a believer, still trying to understand and become knowledgeable about what truth was. I think that right there, people who are hungry for truth, they're going to find it. If you're hungry for the truth, you're going to find it. There's just a lot of people who just aren't hungry for it. They just don't care.
Yeah. Are we back to the comfort question there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're happy not knowing. That bugs the fire out of me, not knowing. Does that bother you?
Yeah. I mean, the knowing that there's something out there and choosing to intentionally or willfully believe something else,
Yeah.
I will never understand.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting the way you phrase it, because I'm a bit stumped, frankly, but it definitely is concerning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a heavy thought. I think it's crazy to think that I've said this before. I say 1,000 times. People are insatiably stupid, right? They're willfully ignorant, and everyone,
present company included.
Yeah. I mean, even me. You're gonna have so much hate mail. I'm gonna have so much hate mail because I just said that. It just came out of my mouth. They're gonna be like, "What is he talking? What should he say that?"
No, we're idiots. We're sheep, man. We're sheep.
It's crazy. I think we'll probably end up talking about other stuff in that regard. You're probably gonna bring it up again and make me elaborate, but. Man, you got to be hungry for truth.
Yeah.
And there's so much goodness out there. There's so much joy around us. Yeah. And just, I'm so glad that my dad found the peace that he was looking for.
Yeah.
It completely changed the direction that we were headed.
So how old were you when he was going through this process? And then how did those early years kind of shape your view of faith when the tension gets real?
He had already made a profession of faith when I came along the scene.
Okay.
In fact, he had actually prayed for me to be born. Like he was begging God that God would give him a son because my older brother had just died. And so he was begging God, praying for a son. God, if you give me the son, I'm going to give him to you. Kind of like that prayer of Hannah, right? But my dad was beginning to be grounded in a different way. He had a passion for serving. It was no longer, he didn't have a passion for being self-fulfilling. And he had a passion for serving, and he was learning and growing through that. And I think growing up, that's one thing that I learned a lot from my dad as I watched and valued what he did. And he was hardworking. Like he worked all the time. Like if he wasn't working on something for church or for his job or for, like, he was He was looking for reasons to help people. And my mom was very hardworking. Like, we were a busy family, not busy like today. Like, we weren't going to ball games and we weren't going to sports events or anything. Like, we were active and working and doing things. Like, my mom homeschooled us. Like, I was homeschooled pretty much my entire life. And my mom homeschooled all 10 of us. And the work and effort.
That is actually a home school.
Oh, it's insane. Yes. Yes. And she was incredible too.
I was going to say, that many kids, you literally, if across 10, you had multiple grades, you had all kinds of stuff working there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And to be able to do all that stuff daily, back to back with those different grades and things like that, but different dynamics, different attitudes. You have the quiet kids, you have and they're all in different grades at all different times. And my mom was a gifted teacher. My mom's almost 80. And so my parents are almost the same age as my wife's grandparents.
Oh, wow.
So we're like from two different generations. Yeah. Me and my wife are. We were raised by two different generations. Yeah. Right?
Interesting.
So my parents were very hardworking people. And my mom was very diligent at what she did. She went to University of Maine in Orono. She went to school with Stephen King.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I was asked her if
she was the inspiration for any of his books.
Yeah, I hope not.
All work, no play makes Jack a very dull boy. They worked
at the radio station.
Really?
They worked at the radio station together.
How about that?
Yeah. They didn't talk much because back then, everything was like pre-loaded. You just kept your mouth shut, put the discs on, and they might say something every now and then, but you just kept things rolling.
Yeah.
So you weren't like talking while everything was going on. But
I want to
hardworking.
I want to ask you one question that can kind of come back to what you said before, because I think it's a part of your story later. You mentioned that your dad prayed for you and your mother had you, and there was sort of a dramatic story of how you kind of came to be, and then where you went right after you were born, and subsequently what that impact may be on your life. Want to walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, you want to talk about that now?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, this is the beginning. This is what happened to. We wouldn't have to talk about like her labor pains or anything, or how messy it was, or.
So, I know the most about before I was born. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So, my older brother Daniel had passed away. A really tragic situation right at birth. So some things went wrong when he was born, and my mom got the privilege of holding her dead child in her arms. And that was in New York, I believe, was where they're at the time. My dad went to Alaska. My family was transferred to Alaska. My dad was being in the Air Force. And my dad had prayed for a son, prayed that God would give him a son. And we went to Alaska. My mom's like, "Hey, I'm pregnant." They're like, "No, you're not pregnant. You can't be pregnant." And she's like, no, I'm definitely pregnant. I mean, we've gone through this 8 times, or 7 times already at that point, and this would be the 8th time. And they're like, "No." And sure enough, she was pregnant, and then I would be born. And my dad, just like he promised, the first place he takes me is to church. He's so excited. Just really unique looking back on the story to know not that I was anything special, but my dad had a special relationship with God, and that he wanted something not for himself, but he kept praying, "God, give me a son that can be used by you. Give me a son that can be used by you." And so, my mom would tell me that, like, we prayed that God would use you one day. We prayed that God would use you one day. And I'd sit there and I'd listen, and I had no clue. I'm a kid. What do I know? And my mom would show me pictures of my brother Daniel, and that was hard for me to see because I never knew who the kid in the box was. I never knew who that little kid was. And I'd never met this kid before. And I began to understand that this was my brother and he was born before. I began to get to know a little bit more about the situation. And I'm so thrilled to have parents that I had and pour out their heart to God and let them know, hey, this is what we want. Not for us, but we want to see what you can do because we already went through tragedy. So I would come to be, and it's crazy because I grown up through my life. I've always, even as a teenager, I was like, I'm going to fly. I'm going to go work on I'm going to go fly airplanes. That's what my dad did. That's what my oldest brother did. He still works in aviation. It's like, that's what I'm going to do. And I fought hard not to submit myself to what my parents had prayed for. Because in your heart, like, you ever have that moment where you're like, I know that's the right thing and I just don't want to do it because it's right for everybody else, it's just not right for me.
Yeah.
Like, but you know it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to lie. I felt the burden at a young age. I felt the pressure at a young age to that I was to be doing spiritual things, spiritually minded things. And I didn't like it.
Took a few years to submit to that. Yeah,
it took a long time.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about how we get there. You've moved around a lot. You've said Alaska, you've said Maine, I've heard New York, Oklahoma,
Missouri.
You chased work all around. Dad was involved in church planting at the time. You know, how did you observe ministry in all those places? And, you know,
oh man,
obviously you didn't see yourself going into ministry at that time because you were just talking about that, but
no, not at all.
But you were very involved.
Good pastor. My dad is a good minister. Very smart man, because he, like I said before, he sought out truth, right? He's very diligent to look beyond the surface. And so when you come from a place where he's come from, I think a lot of people who grow up in churches take for granted the fact that there is just heaviness on the other side of relationship with spiritual things. And there is just extreme heaviness. My dad knew that. He grew up in a broken home. He lived with his grandpa growing up when he was a little kid, and that's who raised him. And so to go from a home where you don't have a father figure, that's your own father, and then you try to be a father, and then you try to be a spiritual father on top of that, when you have had little to no example.
Sounds like an impossible task.
It's a very challenging task. And so you do a lot of things to the best of your ability, and you might do a lot of things wrong. And people will hold you accountable to that. They'll be frustrated that my dad didn't do this and he didn't do that. But the reality is he did the best he knew how according to his ability. And so I grew up in this home, in a pastor's home, and I would say I saw some maybe not great behaviors, but at the same time, I am learning how to grow through that because I'm watching my dad and mom strive to grow through it. I mean, just the amount of, so I've been through several churches. Let's just go there. So I've been through several churches. It is hard. It is a hard thing watching your dad as a minister pour out his heart, bail people out of jail, buy all their kids Christmas presents, and then watch how they respond to him. I never wanted to go through that because he didn't retaliate. He didn't get frustrated. Like, that's not the way it's.
How did they respond to him?
How people respond to him, like just lack of appreciation, not they don't respect. Like, you could pour everything out. People come to you and you offer them truth, right? You bring truth to them, and they are there and they want substance. They want money, they want food, they want bills paid, but they don't want truth. That's not why he was there. But he would deliver both things. They would leave with the substance, reject the truth. I remember there was one time my dad handed money to somebody, and he's like, okay, this is God's money. So use it responsibly. This isn't my money. This is God's money. And the person didn't take it, obviously. I mean, when you put it like that, a lot of people don't want truth. They want sustainability in the problem that they're currently living in. They're not looking to get out of it. They're just looking to live in it. And so watching him every day continue to pour out year after year after year after year into these churches, into people's lives. And now I will tell you, there's as many good people out there who loved and supported our family, but my dad just kept fighting forward. And I watched that, and it was probably one of the most incredible things that I'd seen, even turmoil from within my own home, from my own family members who didn't necessarily value the direction my mom and dad took. I mean, I was learning scripture at 4, 5, and 6 years old. Like, by the time I was a teenager, I was memorizing books of the Bible, and my mom and dad pushed me to do that. They pushed me to do that. And everyone says, oh, you forced your kid to go to church. You forced your kid to do this. You forced your kid to do that. You shouldn't force your kid to do those things. Well, you force your kid to do math, and you force your kid to do English, and you force your kid to learn history that changes all the time.
I'd like to say we set an expectation of how life is going to be in our home. Right? You know, you can use the word force, or you can say, no, this is the culture. This is how we do things around here.
Right.
We're going to read. We're going to study. We're going to live excellently, or whatever.
Yeah. And it's not forced at all. It's understanding that they didn't force me to do those things. They understood that those things brought value to my life. And that's where a lot of people think that, oh, I'm forced to. Then stop forcing your kids to put their hand on their heart when they say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Like, you can't say that it's forced when it comes to spiritual things, and then it's not forced when it's to all these other things. Like, no, you understand that these things bring sustainability. These things bring value. And so my parents who did not have that growing up knew that these were the things necessary that were going to keep me sustainable along the journey. And I'm so glad they did, because I don't look back. I don't regret 1 minute of it.
Right. Let me push back on that a little bit, because like you, right before that kind of answer, you were talking about how you felt that conviction at an early age, knew or recognized the pull, and still kind of intentionally chose something else, right?
Yeah.
Not fully yielding to it, right? It's complying, practicing the disciplines per, parental guidance and things of that nature. But there's something in there that's still going, I'm not sure this is still for me. Like, it's for me, and I'll do it, and I see the benefit and the fruit of it, but not really sure. There's got to be something else. So this isn't really the pace. So I just want to hang on that a little bit and ask this question. You didn't see yourself going into ministry at that time, right? You said you were actually never going to be a pastor.
Right.
So from there, you kind of went to school and said, I'll go to seminary, or not seminary. Where do you went?
Yeah,
Arkansas.
It was a seminary. It was a seminary.
Yeah, and you said I'll do what you focused on, like church
administration.
Right.
Yeah, the business side of. I was like, if I'm going to work in the church, I'll be the superintendent.
Right.
I heard that they made good money.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah. This is where I want to go. Yeah.
Was like, I had heard that the superintendent made good money, and his job was pretty cut and dry. It was just behind the scenes. I'll tell you what, accountability from humanity is easy. Accountability from God is hard. So
can you unpack that a little bit?
Yeah. So when you are going to speak on something, when you're going to speak on something or be a part of something, man's rules change all the time. Like there's no consistency. There's people that I'd fired in the past 10 years that we changed the policy a year or two after they got fired because we knew it was wrong.
Okay.
So man's laws are inconsistent, constantly changing. You can never please man. And so, but on the flip side of that is the accountability is, you can be as honest or dishonest as you want for the most part in most areas. And as long as your percentages and your results are there, like good for you. You get promotions, you get raises. In God's world, like his termination process is so much more of a problem, isn't it? Like, how would you want to face that? Like, it's not even a conversation. It just happens.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I'm done with you. Like, I've had enough. Like,
yep. This was a rule. You broke it.
You got a tongue disease. Your tongue's falling out.
Or you're forever separated from me in peace.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's so. Knowing that the accountability on spiritual things was so high, but let's kick it back for a second, because I wasn't a Christian growing up. I was in a Christian home.
Right.
I wasn't a Christian. I just knew a lot of Christian things to say, and I knew a lot of answers and
the principles.
Yeah. So I mean, you go through, you get really, really good at the information, but you have no relationship to the creator.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if probably a lot of your listeners have gone to like these youth conferences and stuff. And on Thursday night's what I call gimmick night. Gimmick night is where you bring your best speaker in. Friday morning, nobody wants to be that speaker. That's the worst place to speak, because everyone's just ready to go home. They're checked out, and they were on an emotional high throughout the week. They'd all met their girlfriend, their future girlfriend or boyfriend that they're going to spend their life with, that they're never going to see again, right? And so Thursday night is emotions night.
Yeah.
And they are going to get all the commitments. This is how they all work. Okay. So as a young person, I see that. I know what's going on. Why? Because I responded in that way when I was a young kid. I responded on Thursday night. I felt this calling. And so I decided I was going to be a missionary to Africa. It was incredible, but that wasn't what the calling was. I was so compelled by the motivational message that I was missing what God was trying to say to me. And what God was trying to say to me was, I want you to be my child. I want you to be my son. What I took from that is, I want to go hunt lions and tigers, or tigers and elephants in Africa. I'm going to be a missionary to Africa. Because that, in my head, was what was going to fulfill me. But that wasn't what God was trying to speak to me. And so I think that those moments like that, leading up to that, I knew I was being compelled into something, but God couldn't use me if because I wasn't even in relationship with him. It wasn't even something that I was wanting, because I didn't understand. I wasn't looking at the right things.
Right.
I was looking at being, I was looking at having a position. Yeah. I wasn't looking at purpose. I was looking at position.
Yeah. You said it better than I was thinking. You said what I was thinking.
But if I would have seen if I would have seen purpose, I mean, then it probably would have been a lot different.
Yeah. You were looking for function. That's what I was trying to say.
I was looking for function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but so that changes the perspective on things, right? So then, you're kind of carrying this perspective, this attitude into college, right?
Yeah. So I got really good at analyzing people. Like I was really quiet. You can't tell that now, but I was really quiet. And I just analyze and I watch people. And I could figure people out really quick. I could figure out circumstances and situations because people are habitual. Like how things are staged are habitual. And so that bothered me.
Is that wisdom or discernment?
That's discernment.
Okay. So you're a discerning person.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say wisdom. If wisdom is the important thing, I think there's a lot of people that can discern but don't know how to apply that discernment.
Okay.
Don't know how to make application.
I've always seen wisdom being, I know it's going to happen in the future, and discernment being, I know what got us to today.
That's good. That's really good. I've not thought of it that way. What made you think that? What made you take that approach on wisdom?
Well, first of all, I have a wife with spiritual gift of discernment. So I listen well to her inclinations and her feelings and things that happen, right? Like she can summarize someone, and oftentimes it's just an emotional reaction. It's a visceral response. It's just something is not settled in her spirit.
Yeah.
And makes her question and look deeper. And then she'll start verbally kind of processing that, like, what is going on there? I'm not sure I understand, and everything like that. So she's not fully committed to the trust and whatnot until she figures it out. And a lot of times everybody else can just be, oh, hey, whatever. Like, that's me. Right. I'm just assume good intent to trust everybody, things of that nature. And she's just very reflective, very introspective. And she knows kind of how somebody got where they are, different life choices or whatever, at least knows to look for those choices, knows to look for those things that may have led to the way that the person is. Yeah. And then the wisdom piece is based on everything that I have discerned, and based on my life applications and things that have come to me in this process or whatever, all the information that I have at my discretion, I can now smartly and acutely apply my path or my approach to those things so that if I follow that path, I know what will happen. That's the, it's like fortune telling, but it's like a cheat code, because all of this, I know what's going to happen. It's a yield, so to speak. So.
Yeah, I'd say then, based off of how you think through that, I would say discernment was what was leading me to see what was repeatable in the future. Like, okay, this is what's going to happen because this is the path they're going down. Like, I was reflecting on what had been consistent behavior before to recognize the outcomes that we were about to walk into. But I went to college, right? So I went to seminary and I went on a church administration degree. I played basketball with the college, and my academic focus was kind of pretty broad. You had some biblical studies, but you had finance, you had some things on like psychology stuff, and so a lot of different things. It's pretty broad. But going through that, the one thing that no one ever asked me was, here I'm going to a Christian college. No one ever asked me if I was a Christian. Right?
Yeah,
you think like that's a pretty important thing.
Right. And was it an assumption that you were? Was it I
guess if you wanted to go to a Christian college, you must have been a Christian.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here if you weren't.
It's almost like as if anything spiritually related was a career. Like it was just another career choice, just labeled as Christian.
Okay.
That becomes
my function, right? You said my job or my position.
My job. This is my title. This is my So you have this way of life that you set out to do, and I just didn't want to be a part of it because I didn't see myself being able to commit in the way that I knew was the right way.
Right.
I could do it like a lot of people out there, but I couldn't do it like it was modeled for me. My dad was a good model of it.
Can I ask one deeper clarifying question, right? Are you saying that the way that it needed to be done was based on the way your dad did it, or based on the way that the scripture calls a person to do it?
The way the way the scripture calls it. My dad would tell you he's not a good person or he's not somebody. We just had a conversation the other day. He's like, you are a much better pastor than I've ever been. I'm like, God, that's subjective.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, I've been doing this thing for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like you were, but I think what you see is a heart. Like, if your focus is on ministry, that's the right place to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the focus should be. If your focus is on member count, like, you are in a really bad place, right? Like, I hope you get viewers. I hope you get a lot of viewers and people that connect with but if we sit here and we talk about stuff and there's zero valuable content, what's the point? Right.
Right.
If we talk for hours and nobody can go do anything with what we've talked about, then we just wasted their time.
Yep.
And there's a lot of things out there just wasting people's time.
Yeah.
Even church services that are just wasting people's time. And I'm like, man, I can be dynamic, I can be energetic, but if I step into that role, I have to be honest 100% of the time, and I have to be willing to live it out.
Yep.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah. And I'm reflecting on Paul in Romans 8 and 9, somewhere in there, where I think it's 8, or 7, maybe even. In my mind, I want to do what I don't want to do. I know what I want to do, but I don't do it because something is keeping me from doing it. And, I do the other thing that I hate. A wretched man I am, like, this is horrible, like, deep down in me, I know exactly what I want to do. And all the while I know exactly that I am the man that cannot live up to that standard. So yeah, that's a turmoil that everybody has to face once in a while.
Yeah. It'd be like a firefighter showing up at the fire and be like, I don't want to fight this one.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to sit this one out.
When you decide to do this, you better be 100% in.
Yeah.
You better be ready to go.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what that is. It's an emergency service.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of the journey through that. And, I did make a decision to trust Christ at a young age, but I was kind of at 16 years old. I kind of stopped short there. I was like, I wasn't ready for anything else.
Yeah.
And I was ready to go into something that, not something that I saw more value in, but something that would keep me busy and keep my mind preoccupied from problems. And that was work.
That's interesting, because I don't know. I think as I reflect on a comment like that or a statement like that, oftentimes people will come to know the Lord at an early age or their teen years or whatever. And then they'll get to a point later where they understand it deeper and wonder if the decision that they made at an early age or in their teen years was an actual faith-based trust. You know, I mean, I confessed, I believed in my heart at the time, and that means I was saved, right? But the spiritual crisis of, the mentality there is, well, did that really happen? I understand it so deeply now.
Right.
I don't know. I think that's just maturity. That's, it's growth.
Yeah. I think everyone's questioned it at some point.
Yeah. I think the ones that don't question it are the ones that actually have to
don't realize what it is.
It's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be easier. And if you're 20 years down the road and you haven't suffered any persecution or dealt with real hard applications of this stuff, let's go back and evaluate here, man.
What's crazy is I actually didn't feel like a bad person. And then that moment in time that I recognize, man, I need something more than me. And I'm hearing it every single Sunday, but I'm just like thinking how cool this is. And how awesome these moments are, and winning the next contest at church, or studying the next verse, and
knowing it.
Knowing it better than everybody else, right? Raising my hand to get the answer right. Why? Because I could get more candy.
Yeah.
And then I could sell it to the kids for their church money.
Yeah.
Right. I'm serious.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah.
No, I was like, I knew if I hit them up before the offering came, I could make money off the service too. It was a good gig. Like, I knew where the money was coming. But here's what's crazy. You're laughing.
No,
it's real.
I am, because that is so dark.
I was a kid then.
Yeah.
When I grew up, I decided to sell sheep and goats outside the town. No, I didn't do that.
He's exchanging money at lots right there.
It's crazy. So when I became a Christian, right, just a couple days before my birthday, I felt more conviction when I became a Christian than I did all the previous years.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel guilty of anything. And when I became a Christian, after I recognized, like, I've got a problem, I began to feel guilty about a lot of things. Like, I never killed anybody.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of hatred towards people.
Yep. I've thought some things. I've said some things. Yeah.
Oh man, it was hard. It was heavy.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm not that great of a guy. Like, and it just continued like that, to where it got from the point where I didn't want to do ministry as a younger person. I was like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do this, to where I didn't feel worthy. Like, I couldn't meet that bill, which goes back to the, like, there's no way I want the accountability. I want the weight of that. Like, man, I'm not as good of a person as I thought I was. And I don't feel worthy or qualified.
Yeah.
And it was easy for me just to saturate myself at that point with things that kept my mind extremely busy.
And so that's how you say, well, I can stay at an arm's length while I'm in college.
Yeah.
I can focus on church administration. I can focus on this vocation, if you will. And the heart can just hang out while I've tried to figure this out. And so you graduate from somewhere in Arkansas.
So it was 2006, sometime in there. I'm not good with time.
That's fair.
So I get out of college. I'm done with my school curriculum. It wasn't an accredited college. It didn't become accredited until 2019. They had just started.
Okay.
I mean, so this is a brand new college, brand new program. Same leadership. But it takes a while to get through the accreditation process. Yep. So, I came back to Missouri, and I was back in Missouri for maybe 2-3 weeks. And I was working at a Walmart remodel in Excelsior. So I'd worked at Walmart since I was 17. I came back to Missouri, was working a Walmart remodel in Excelsior. We were doing the back room portion of it. And this was back when associates could actually run jackhammers and things like that. Those days were so long gone. Like, there'd be so much litigation if people were running jackhammers in stores, putting anchor bolts and hurricane straps and things.
That's amazing.
I was running a register and making I was loading up mowers or assembling a gazebo, and now I'm installing structural material in a building.
That's awesome.
So yeah, those days are so long gone. But I was doing that, and I was the weekend. I went, and my brother asked me if I wanted to go hang out with him at a friend's house, and I said, sure, I''ll go hang out with you.
Are we getting into that story?
I think so.
Okay, hang on just a second.
Yeah, let's.
I want to pump the brakes a little bit, because you decided that Walmart was gonna be the career path for you, right?
Yeah, it was an easy choice,
right? Because you had tied, and again, I'm reflecting on our conversation over coffee. You had said, God says to, feed the sheep or whatever, right? And so you were like,
no, that was the dean of the college.
Okay.
I went into his office. I was kind of frustrated with him. Okay, so I was kind of frustrated because I always worked 2 jobs. Like I was terrified of the depression.
Yeah.
My grandpa went through depression, right? So I'm terrified of the depression, and I'm never going to have to live through it like everybody else did.
Right.
So I'm frustrated where I go into the dean's office and I'm like, so what am I supposed to do with this degree? And he said, sell food, clothing, and shelter. You'll be fine. And I said, well, I work at Walmart and I sell food and clothes. He's like, he must have thought this kid is worthless. He's wasted our time and was just wanting me to get out and get on the road.
Yeah. I just finished a degree here. I just did whatever,
Yeah.
Clearly this kid didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You filled out your homework. You did not do your homework. He said, then I would stick with that. And I left. I walked out of the room and I was mad at him, mad at the school. Yeah. It's like, you guys prepared me for nothing.
Yeah. And that's a Christian crisis, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're there, you're seeking purpose, you're moving down this road. And then I don't know, the rose tinted lenses just get ripped off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You start to, there's a danger in starting programs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a danger in starting organized things because your logo can become more important than what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Like you can lose sight of what you started out to do
because of the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you chose the brand at this point. You chose Walmart.
I chose Walmart.
I'm selling food and clothing, and that's a link and a tie to take what we just showed you in college. So you're saying, okay, I'm back in Walmart. Let's apply this.
Yeah.
And were you at that point? Were you in like the, was that like a graduate training program for anything like that? Were you just kind of an associate, still trying to make your way with the degree?
No. So right then, at that point, I was stocking shelves overnight just to get through college. And then I was working at a place called San Francisco Bread Company at the same time.
Okay.
And then I would also work construction during the summer. And so I would work anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week the entire time, which is crazy. I didn't go out with anyone.
I was going to say,
I didn't have time for that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't important enough for me. And so I just stayed extremely busy. And that's probably kept me out of a lot of trouble. But I stayed extremely busy. I say it was God's way of preserving me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always worked 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And so when I went into Walmart management, which would happen, it would be postponed. So I was getting ready to go into the fast track program. So what they called it then. You spend a year in hourly leadership and then move into management. So I got out of college, started my fast track program. And I was like, yes, I can finally stop working 2 full-time jobs or 60 to 80 hours a week. And I can just work one job, focus. 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's like, so that's what I chose.
Yeah.
Spend less time on the road, more time in the store.
Yeah. 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 Well, I was going to say, that's
what it took back then, though.
Yeah.
Like in the early 2000s.
I argue that's what it takes today. If you really want to go fast and you want to hit you really want to hit the gas in a career or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I can see how you started with that in mind. Is that what success looked like for you then? You were like, okay, I've made it. I've made it to this managerial program.
No.
Okay.
No.
You're literally you're flying by the seat of your pants.
So it's funny. I got in the interview, the store manager, which a lot of people around here would actually know. He asked me, he goes, what's POS? I'm like, In my first interview, I'm like, I don't know. He goes,
it's point of sale?
Point of sale.
Okay.
I said, okay.
I was going to think piece of...
yeah, I was too young and naive to even know those things.
Right.
Like all I did was work. I didn't do much of anything. And I come back for another interview. He sends me on my way. I come back for another interview. He's like, what's POS? I said, point of sale. I knew the answer. That's how it always worked for me before.
Right.
I knew the answer. He goes, what's point of sale? What's that mean? I'm like, I don't know. I did 3 interviews to get into the fast track program, bombed every single one of them.
Still got in?
No.
Oh, okay.
On the 4th time, yeah. So I interviewed to be a manager over pets. I interviewed to be a manager over garden center. I interviewed to be a manager over sporting goods. And I got a job. I interviewed to be the manager over menswear and sports apparel in Walmart, and I got the job. I'm like,
so this is the classic example of filling out your homework instead of doing it, like you said, right? You just kind of carried that same mentality.
Yeah, you just keep repeating answers.
Yeah.
Keep repeating answers, never actually figuring out how to do the equation.
Yeah.
Like somebody else figured it out and reports to me.
Yeah.
And as soon as they get the reporting, I can repeat it.
Yeah.
Like life isn't like that at all.
Right.
Like you better do some work and put in some effort.
Right. Okay. So you're in this management track now, and then now you're transition, you're starting with Walmart, you're in the management track.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, back to the story I think you're getting ready to start, you get invited to a party or something. I don't know.
What my brother invited me to go hang out with a friend of his that he worked with at his house. And so I go over there and hang out with them. And I end up getting asked if I'm going to go play pool, which I absolutely said yes to. I loved playing pool. And so the second invitation that evening, which was by my brother's friend. So my brother invited me to this house and to hang out with his friend. And I got invited by his friend to go play pool at this other house.
Okay. And you're back in Excelsior. The invitation was to a house in Richmond.
Yeah. Well, I lived, my parents owned a home in Richmond.
Okay.
So they didn't live here, but they owned a home in Richmond.
Got it.
And so that's where I was staying when I came back from college.
Got it.
So I transferred back up here just for a short time because my brother lived up here, my younger brother.
Yeah.
And so I came up here and I was doing the Excelsior remodel at that time because there was no play. I had transferred. There wasn't a position for me yet.
Yeah.
To get into the fast track program, or you needed a department manager or hourly supervisor role. Yeah. There wasn't anything available.
So you're hanging out waiting on that.
I'm hanging out. Yeah, I'm just working remodels. That's where you go when you're just spending time looking for a role. So I get invited to this party. I get invited to play pool. It's much more than pool playing, though. It is a full-blown party.
Yeah.
In fact, when I showed up, nobody was playing pool at all.
Wait a second.
I started the pool game. That was the crazy thing. So me and this other kid who show up, we're playing pool, and in less than, I would say, 15 minutes, because the pool game we played, I won. I need to make sure that is on the record. I won the last pool game before this moment. And the music got turned down. Some guys started confronting the kid that I came with. The front door got shut. Things got really weird. Remember we were talking about how you analyze everything?
Yeah.
So you just know something's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You know something's going to happen, but you just don't want to be the one who flinches first.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be the match or the spark that lights the fuse. Mm-hmm. And so I'm standing there and I know something's about to go down, and it does. And a couple punches were thrown at the kid that I was there with, who wasn't like a friend of mine at the time. Not that I recall. I don't think I even barely knew him, but the one day or so.
Right.
And I might have met him one time before that. Somebody said I played basketball with him at the church, with those guys, not with the guys that were there that night, but the kid that I was with. So he's standing with his back up against the couch. I'm standing with my back up against the wall. And these guys walk right in front of him, get in his face, walk around the pool table, come back, walk by me, get in front of his face, and then a punch gets thrown. Boom. And these other two guys jump in and start throwing punches, and then one's on him, pulling his neck back and kicking him. And it seems like a long time. It seems like a lot has happened. But in the scope of things, it's just fractions of seconds.
Yeah.
Like it just happens so quick. And as quick as it happened, I grabbed the guy who was pulling his head back and
just trying to pull him off?
Pulled him off and held him into the wall, thinking that everyone else was going to do the same thing, was going to separate them and get everything under control. But when I turned around to look, nobody was doing anything. They were all just standing there looking at me like, what are you doing? As if I had done something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This other kid who was the guy's brother, that I happened to pull the guy who had a brother off. I should have chose somebody different. I pulled the guy off that had a brother there, and his brother started punching at me. So I put my hands up, start defending myself from him. And the guy I let go of grabs a pool stick and he starts coming at me and takes it to my head a couple of times. Well, then I went unconscious and then he continued to hit me. Now that part I don't know about. I just know from the girl who reported it. Mm-hmm. I thank God that she did report it because I was limited on, I could only tell what I knew from the time that I was awake.
Yeah, till it went dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I woke up underneath the pool table with the guy punching me in the face. So I guess he had hit me 6 more times. The girl had stepped in front of him, in front of my face, and told him to stop. So this is not my story. This is her story and everyone else's. And he said, no, move, or I'm going to hit you too. She wouldn't move. So he hit her in the leg. It turned to the whole bottom calf of her leg completely black. I came to under the pool table with him punching me in the face. One of them punching me in the face, yelling at me, saying, hey, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Just ripping into me, drug me outside, threw me into the yard. I crawl over to the car and start hitting on the car, yelling for the kid that I was with to let me in. Like, let me in, let me in. He's not in there, but I can't see. My eyes are obliterated.
Yeah.
Somebody came and grabbed me again and escorted me to a flower van, stuck me in a flower van, and didn't take me to the hospital. They took me to this kid's apartment, dropped me off at his apartment. So I can't see. I'm bleeding, my face, blood pouring everywhere. I'm throwing up blood, throwing up everything. I walk into the apartment and I'm sure I'm making like the most ridiculous amount of noise you could possibly make. And somebody yells from the other room for me to be quiet or shut up. And I just yell back, we got beat up. And I went down onto the floor on my knees. And the last thing I remember is like grabbing the coffee table and trying to stop myself. And then I went dark again. So I guess his roommate called the police, called somebody. I ended up getting transported to Ray County Hospital. They didn't know what was wrong with me yet. But when I got to Ray County Hospital, they thought that I was just involved in some kind of barroom brawl. Like that's what it looked like.
Yeah, pretty typical.
Based off my story.
Yeah.
I mean, how lethargic how lethargic I was, and at the same time I must have sounded like I was part of the drunkenness at the brawl.
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee it.
Yeah. I mean,
face all swole up, can't hardly speak or see. A police officer came into the room. I don't know if he was checking up on something. I don't know if he was part of the original investigation. I don't know if he was sent out there. Just happened to see me and asked why I was there. And they said, hey, that's he's there because he was part of this barroom brawl. And the police officer's like, I don't think he was part of that.
mm-hmm.
He goes, did you guys do a blood test, alcohol blood test, drug test? They're like, no. So that's what started that whole process. Well, let's verify some stuff, because they kept asking me, what have you drank tonight? What have you drank tonight? I'm like, Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew. Like, okay, right.
Yeah. Mountain Dew and vodka, Mountain Dew and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or pills or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they do the testing and everything comes back clean. Well, I am one room over from the other kid. They don't even realize that we are the same incident.
Oh, wow.
And so it's not till the other kid's mom gets involved and she's like, hey, that guy right there was with my son. And that's when all the wheels started turning and people started asking a lot more questions to try to get to the bottom of what's going on. And so my parents aren't around here at this time. My parents are in Kansas. My dad's serving in a church over there. And this kid that I was with, his dad and his brother-in-law, they're like, we're going to go find out what happened, obviously, right? And so the police end up going to the house where he was at. And they knock on the door. Hey, was he here? No, he hasn't been here at all. Well, his car is still there. They're like, his car's out back. Well, big surprise. The only other problem was, so he couldn't remember hardly anything. And I could remember it all as if it was the only memory that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the boys that I described were still there in the same clothes that I just told the police officers about what happened. And so that's when things got real.
Mm.
That became the start of a long court journey and a much bigger process for me to understand what it means to grow out of something like that,
mm-hmm.
and learn what it means to truly forgive somebody.
Mm. So before we start that road, I mean, there's a couple other things in here that I want to unpack, right? Because you don't just jump to forgiveness or don't just jump whatever. Like, how did you recover? Because you get there and you think through the events and whatnot, right? And that starts the court process. But I mean, you got to have some mental ability to process these things, right? I mean, like this isn't just overnight thing.
Yeah, you don't really. For me, in my situation, it wasn't anything to process. I didn't. It was just the same thing every day, over and over and over again, happening, repetitiously. Same exact scenario. My mind always trying to stop that blow from the pool stick.
That's all you're thinking of.
I get from the point where it all started to the point where I get hit and knocked unconscious. And every single time I try to stop, I go through every practical scenario, right? Like as if I'm back in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get hit right out of the daydream.
Yeah.
Like I cannot escape the daydream of what just happened.
Yeah, you were saying it was kind of like the opposite of 50 First Dates.
Yeah. It was like, instead of somebody having to repeat it to me over and over and over again, it's all I could remember.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell you what I did the day before. I couldn't tell you what I did the several years after.
Right.
Like I constantly forget stuff. Like I'm about a 2 to 3 year historical thinking process
gap.
Yeah. That's about as far back as I can remember. And everything before that just fades away. It just continues. I just continue to, my mind just lets that go. But that moment is I still can't let it go.
Crystal clear.
Yeah. I remember driving down, it was October, not last year, the year before. I was driving down to Highway 2 up in North Dakota. And I was coming down this long hill. And I don't ever remember coming up the other side, or all of a sudden just my mind slipped into that. And then right when the pool cue hit me and I tried to stop it was when I came back to continuing driving down Highway 2. I was driving down Highway 2 the whole time with my family, but it's there. Yeah. Like you can't escape it. Wow. It's almost like a brand on your, it's not my brand. It's just branded on you. It's like this happened. Why there's evidence of it, and it's just branded in your mind. Yeah. Like,
can we talk about the significance of your injuries? Like, did they ever summarize like what all happened? Like how many times you were hit? Did you have stitches and all that? I mean,
a couple of bandages. So I ended up with 9 screws in my face, 3 metal plates, reconstructive eye socket. So my eye is real, but the orbital socket around it is reconstructed.
Still.
Yeah. And then 26 gauge permanent wire in my jaw down here. So, and then my sinus cavity is like completely obliterated. So to the best that they could do, they did everything they could to put that back together. And what's crazy is I'm blessed with these Eskimo features. So puffiness and swollen face is a great thing for somebody because it just hides all the problems, right? I don't have to get Botox because I got enough collagen already or something in my face, and just get that puffy face.
You're gonna be forever 40.
I'm gonna be. Somebody said the other day that like, I told them I had a 7-year-old. They're like, "You have a 7-year-old? How do you have a 7-year-old?" I said, "I have a 16-year-old." They're like, "Oh, really?
How old are you?"
I say 41.
You're 41. Okay.
Yeah, they thought I was 23, 24. I'm like, no.
That's awesome.
I'm not a stressed out person, so it's easy for me to.
I don't wear my age on my skin.
I'm sure I look older than I am, but it was a very nice person. It's an older lady, and her and her husband. Is surprised I had a 7-year-old. I think when I said I had a 16-year-old, they're like, oh, they realized that I'd married a woman who had like 5 kids already. I'm like, no, I might need to clarify. Yeah. No, she's actually 4 years younger than me. But yeah, you think about that journey, right? So it's more than just facial reconstruction, right? Like some messed up things happen in your head. And so I can't do basic functions that most people do every single day, because my mind is shot. It is fried. It cannot think logically through a daily life cycle. And so I went to cognitive skills therapy. The other kid's mom would take me to cognitive skills therapy because he was going through it. And just, there'd be all these triangles on a page, and you would have to count how many triangles are there, or squares, and talk about the difference between a triangle and a square. It was really dumb stuff. But that was how that cognitive skills therapy went. And that year in August, like life just made sense. Like light switches turn the lights off.
Yeah.
And on. Like things like that began to make sense. Windows were more than just putting your tongue on them. Like, right. So we went through those phases of just walking around aimlessly, turning on washers and dryers, and turning on stoves and walking away because they had buttons. I mean, what do you do when you're 21 years old and you're running? What do you do with somebody who's 21 years old is acting like a 5-year-old? My heart goes out to the people who took me in. That's a pretty special thing. So they
where did you recover? Who did take you in?
So it was actually my wife's aunt. My wife's aunt took me in. I never knew them, but because I had helped their son, they found it in their heart to help me out. Wow. And I was going to. She's the one who fought for me to get into Truman Medical. So Ray County was going to send me home with some Vicodin. Nothing against the hospital. I just don't think they really knew what they were dealing with.
Yeah.
There was no x-rays, no CT scans. And I go back just for CT scans almost every year.
Just to check on things, make sure everything is all right.
Yeah. But I mean, that whole journey of going through that mindset change, like in August of that year, when I say everything came back, it was muscle memory, right? My mind still couldn't actively engage in, like there'd be times I'd be driving down the street. I lived a mile from my house. This is almost 2 years later. And I'd call Amanda crying. Like, I have no clue where I'm at. I don't know how to get home. Where are you at, Ben? What do you, like, we're married at this point. And I'm skipping something that's important, but it messed me up for a long time. I was in Jamestown, North Dakota. All I did was drive to Walmart, and I got lost on the way to Walmart. Just called. I was so angry. You have no idea how many times I've just started yelling and smashing the steering wheel because I have no clue where I'm at. A year and a half ago, I drove all the way to Iowa. Drove right past my exit. Just kept driving all the way to Iowa. And she's like, "Why did you drive?" I'm like, I am on mile marker 4. She's like, "Why?" I was like, "I was
Where
looking
is mile marker
for the
4?
Trex gas station."
Oh, okay.
It's Casey's now. It's like Casey's now on 35.
Yeah.
I just kept driving. It's like my mind just shuts off. And time means nothing. It's crazy. It's a scary place to be, honestly. But for a normal, like, I just kind of embrace it.
Is that
now.
the time that's on your watch?
What?
Is that what you mean when the time being one of the important things on your watch? That the tie that connect to that?
This watch actually works. So, but time is very valuable to me, and I think about that. If you reflect to the things that matter to me in life, right? The Word of God and the time that God gave me. So His words and what I look at is His time. And so I hate that I miss moments. I missed a lot of moments in life, but I hate those missed moments where I make, where I just continue to go too far or get lost or get like, I can't be present in this time. Like it's like I'm separated. I'm in a completely different place, different space.
So you are taken in by your wife's aunt.
Yeah.
And you're trying to recover this time. You're trying to recover this. You called it cognitive therapy. It sounded like occupational therapy also, right? Like, I mean, literally you're just trying to put your life back together. And
yeah, I need to go back to work. I got to pay my bills. I don't have hardly any bills at that point. I'm just out of school. I got
you're
cell
20
phone
nothing
bill,
years old, 21, 22,
21, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And that's where Amanda enters the picture?
Yeah. So she would come over to see her cousin. And she would come over to visit her cousin. She'd come bring him something. And then she felt bad for me because no one was coming to see me.
Mm-hmm.
I got everybody there. It wasn't because they didn't care.
Right.
It's not because my mom and dad didn't care. They had people depended on them.
Yeah.
A lot of people depended on them. And they weren't able to be there. So, but it wasn't that they didn't want to be with me.
Sure.
And so Amanda would come over, she'd see me. So I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat anything for months. Like unless it was soup or mashed potatoes.
Because everything was all wired shut and whatnot in your mouth?
Yeah, because this was all this had to heal. Every time I smiled, I couldn't even smile. My whole face would just start pouring blood.
Oh, wow.
So, which the other kid thought was really funny. Brad thought it was hilarious to make me laugh. So it would, because like you've got two guys, you got Dumb and Dumber hanging out, and all I think back is like, every time I think you couldn't get any dumber, you go ahead and redeem yourself. Right. And so like, he just constantly made me laugh so that it but he wasn't doing it because he hated me or anything. Right. Yeah. He's just, we're two like 5-year-olds in 20 and 21-year-old bodies. And Amanda would come over and she felt bad that I was there alone. Didn't have any interest in me at all. But began to bring me something, like bring me a chocolate milk, because that's basically all I could have. Yeah. And so she would come over there and sit and talk, and I guess I'm a pretty good conversator on Vicodin.
I know the internet's full of people.
I haven't had any in a long time, so. We'll blame it on that if the podcast is no good.
Yeah. Well, people get their wisdom teeth pulled. They do all those stuff. And, the internet's full of those stories.
Oh, for sure.
So you're over there. She's taking care of you, and
his mom's taking care of me. Amanda's aunt, and Amanda comes over and she starts to spend time with me and them. I realize as time goes on, as this August time frame hits and things begin to make sense, like I realize how special this person is. And I guess
why was she special?
I guess the one thing that I would say I have embraced as something I've truly claimed as my own is that she cared for me when I couldn't care back. She loved me when I couldn't love her back. And she didn't love me in the way that many people think about love, but she was present.
It's a verb.
Yeah. She sat through conversations with me. She was just there. And in August of that year, I would say we started dating in August. She's like, it was before that. She was dating, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I had no clue what was going on. But she says that there was a day that I told her I loved her before I realized it, because there's not a lot I can reflect on, to be honest with you, about any of that time frame. But we started actually being able to go out in August because I couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
Couldn't even hardly see anything.
Like you say August, when was that?
February.
Okay. So February to August. Yeah. February, 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything just like started to click and make sense. Even though I did some stupid stuff, like I'd get in the wrong side of my car and sit there and wait to be taken home. And I'm the one who drove the car, right? So stuff like that. But
didn't people, and I mean, I'm just reflecting on our conversation over coffee. Didn't people like think that you were like cognitively slow, like you were never going to recover from this stuff? Yeah. Like, I mean, you had a reputation around Excelsior as being like the guy who's never coming back from this. You were retarded at that point, right?
And I didn't know a lot of that. So at that point, I didn't know a lot of that.
Right.
At that moment. And it's kind of interesting because when I worked for when I worked for Walmart, when I started out working for Walmart, and then I was in that fast track program, I had done a couple of things for Walmart. And one time I had called Wrangler up, I'd called Levi up, called all these companies up, and I was like, hey, this is the amount of sales. I hope I don't bore people with this.
No, this is good stuff.
This is the amount of sales that these jeans generate. This is how many sales. This is how much weeks on hand. We have like 30 weeks on hand of this one pair. We have 50 weeks on hand of this pair. I need RAs on all these. And they said,
RAs?
RAs is return authorization.
Oh, okay.
I want RAs on all these. And remember, I'm the guy who doesn't even know what POS is.
Yeah.
I said, and they're like, okay, well, we can't give return authorizations on that. And I said, well, then I'm going to cancel and suspend all orders on jeans until these ones are sold. So when we ordered a box of jeans, it would come with like 2 34 34s, 2 34 32s, and then the 4 other pairs, 2 pairs of all the other pairs that didn't ever sell.
Yeah.
And so
like,
we just had...
Who wears a 30 36 really?
I bet Chris did when I bet Chris did when he was a teenager.
Chris Weir?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually talking to Cherith the other day. He's like, he's still wearing that length and width and whatever. We're revealing way too much about
it. One customer that I could have sold to.
I'll make you a deal. I think Ben probably wears that now.
He might. That's probably true. I think he's as tall as I am.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11", 6 foot, right there.
Yeah. And you could dunk?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Boy had some hops.
Yeah, that was the
White
one thing
men can jump.
Oh, my goodness. I remember the first time I was running down the court and I jumped up and grabbed the rim with 2 hands. And I was more surprised than the people that saw me do it. That was the very first. I was just starting I was just starting to go through this plyometrics program, and I'd been like 5 weeks into it.
And then suddenly, boing.
Yeah, and I was running. It was at a youth activity.
Yeah,
and I just ran down the court, and it was a pretty surreal moment. And then after that, I just pushed, and yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
I loved it.
It's cool watching a 5'11" guy dunk because you look like you get so much higher than everybody else. Yes. In reality, you kind of are, but you're really not because you're still dunking the ball the same height. But
the first time I ever dunked over top of somebody, was at the Richmond ball court. When I came over the top of somebody and dunked it. I still remember who it was.
Stuff shot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Made a poster.
Highlight
reel.
I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I want to spend probably our next episode talking about your experiences with Walmart. So I want to come back to all of that, and because you've had that. Like let's run a couple things. Let's run a couple things to ground. So how did you ultimately get to know that people came to see your reputation as like the kid who got beat up and whatnot?
That was actually just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I'd been out of Walmart. I drove into town, in Excelsior. And I wasn't even living down here yet.
Mm-hmm.
I drove into town, pulled into the bank parking lot up to the where the tellers terminals are, and I pull in there to throw in my deposit. And the guy in the next booth starts yelling my name, and I haven't seen him for like 10, 12 years. It's been a while, and we used to ride dirt bikes and stuff like that together. We used to go out to the racetrack, and he goes, "Hey, St. Pierre." I said, "What?" I said, "What's up?" And I realized who he was as soon as I saw him. He goes, You're the kid that's supposed to be retarded." And I'm like thinking, I don't know what we're talking about. But then he went on to explain that he did not realize the entire time that he's known me that I'm the same exact kid that he heard about a long time ago, that he thought he just put 2 and 2 together. And it was like, you're the handicap guy. Like, I said, well, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone I'm doing fine. No reason to give him a second shot at it.
I was going to say, that's the Joseph piece, man. Like, thrown in a hole, rescued, God has his favor, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's purpose ultimately revealed in all these things.
Right.
That's kind of the start of it, I gather.
It was kind of a mind blowing as I heard his perspective on it, and it was like, oh man, he told me, he was like, this guy's working here now. And
this is through the teller window?
No, he's in the next car. We're at.
Oh, okay. I thought he was working at the bank.
No, I don't think he'd be working at a bank.
Hey, that's a good rapid fire. If you were in jail, what would somebody assume you did? That's one of my favorites.
That's a good rapid fire question.
You got an answer?
I would say money laundering. In a heartbeat. That's probably what everyone. Like, I'm too nice of a guy. Like, he didn't kill anyone.
No,
he's too dumb to sell drugs.
No, but he shaved an eighth of a hundredth of a cent off of every transaction in Walmart history.
Oh yeah, I'd be like the what's his name? I can't even think of his name.
Off Office Space?
No, Michael. His same name, Michael
Bolton?
Oh, Francis. Michael Francis. Have you seen his podcast? He's just he's was part of the mafia and was allegedly they say he was doing something like that with oil or whatever.
Okay, but
he wasn't.
Yeah. I can't imagine he would.
He was fine.
He's fine. All right. I digress. So you're yelling at this guy back and forth.
Yeah, we're having this conversation and he's like, you're the guy, blah, blah, blah. We have this conversation. And when I left there, my mind was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Like there's a much bigger picture here than I realized. Like, I didn't realize, I didn't think I was that bad because I don't remember anything. Mm-hmm. I've moved past it. Just stayed busy. Mm-hmm. You just don't reflect on the problems. Just look in the future and just stay busy and it will whitewash everything, right? Mm-hmm. I struggled though at the beginning. Like, I struggled for a long time. Like, I couldn't get off the pills. Like, I was, even after I was better, I couldn't separate myself from the pills. I was taking 750 milligrams of Vicodin every 4 hours.
Ooh.
Passing out in the store that I was working in. Dehydrated. That stuff will just dehydrate you to no end. Dehydrated, just start vomiting. There was one time I started just vomiting right there on the floor. And I just took my shirt off. Like, because when it takes over, like, your mind just like is in a crazy space. Mm-hmm. And I just started wiping the floor up with my shirt. There's times I passed out in the store, just like boom. And people were like, let me, you want us to call the ambulance? Nope, not at all. I'm fine. It was hard. It's hard to think that I can move forward in life without it because I was in so much pain.
So you would go into those states when you were trying to get clean? This was the this was when you were on that.
Yeah, when I was on it, all this medication. So I had.
I know the detox process is really challenging too. So.
There was no well, back then, you could go get 90 days supply. Mm-hmm. Like, there was endless amounts of prescription medication available. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you look at like what I went through, and I told you I was in pain, which I was, and you were a doctor.
Yeah.
You're setting me up.
Absolutely. It's not, it's what I say. This is perfectly logical.
Yeah, I'm just even a question.
I'm just trying to understand,
what's correct.
What was really going on. I mean, and the reputation you would get, I mean, somebody fell in my office the other day, like fell down, and because of a health issue and everything like that. And like, it just never is forgotten in the culture of the office or the workplace, you know?
Yeah.
And so you become that guy. Like, you know, you talk about hey, you're supposed to be retarded, or hey, you're whatever. Like, you're that guy who's living infamy as throwing up and wiping his shirt up. And, you know, like that's a head case. That's not somebody who goes on to become a very successful Walmart executive.
No, you hide a lot of that stuff. You hide a lot of that stuff, and you move past it as quick as you can, because you don't want to admit or recognize that this is solving a problem, because you can solve your own problems, right? I'm taking this because I have to, because I'm supposed to. The doctor prescribed it for me, and so I can blame it on him instead of saying, hey, you know what? This has served its course. It's time to let it go. But you get stuck on it. You get trapped in it, and you don't even realize that you're addicted till you're too far gone. And when you do, when it does start to wear off, and your attitude, your anger, it starts to affect the people around you, you make irrational decisions. Everyone around you notices something's wrong. And so my wife decided she was going to hide it. And so that was a problem, because then I couldn't productively function. Like my body was just like craving something to numb the pain. And it wasn't like crazy pain. Like the pain had already subsided, but now my body didn't know how to handle it itself.
Yeah.
And so little things like bothered me. And so unfortunately, we didn't know a resolution. We didn't know that this was the actual problem, was an addiction problem. So fortunately, we went and saw the medical team, and they said, so what are you doing about this? And I mean, it's like, I hid it from the doctor's like, no, you can't do that. Like, so we went through this process of detox at that point. That was hard to do.
You and her.
Yeah. Well, with the medical staff,
Okay.
they were prescribing me lower doses of stuff to help me. I mean, that's a lot of nukes to put in your body.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I think it's like 350 now is what normal people take.
Okay.
Is one of 350 every 4 hours, or sometimes they'll say 350s every 4 hours. And I'm choking 750s down every 4 hours. I was taking Darvocet, Demerol, and Xanax to sleep at night. Like, I was stacking to sleep at night. And the doctors were helping me be able to sleep by providing me with that. But it's the wrong thing. Because I didn't want to have to deal with these things. I didn't want to I'd already been so far down this road. It was hard to reconcile that there's some pain that you just have to live through. And that was a long journey, but fortunately I did get out of that. The doctors helped me through that. I don't take any of that stuff today. I don't hardly take, I have to get told to take, I'll have a severe migraine, and my wife will have to tell me, you need to take some Excedrin or something, just because she can, like, there'll be so much pressure and stuff like that. And she'll say, you need to take some Excedrin. But that, I always reflect back on that, those moments, and think about how, like, the way that the pain medication affected me was the same way that historically I'd heard about how my dad was affected by alcohol. So I was afraid of that at that point, when I realized, hey, I actually was part of an addiction. I had an addiction problem. Yeah. It was hard to admit.
Kind of realized it at the back end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. As it's closing out.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, like, you have all these moments of like, that you think you're away and out of it. Like, okay, I'm done with this now. And then you show up in a drive-thru at a Bank Midwest, and somebody's yelling, hey, you're the guy who's supposed to be retarded. Like, not knowing, having a clue what they're talking about. But that's crazy. You realize, and then
well, don't tell anybody.
Yeah. And I'm like, realize what he's actually having a conversation about. I'm like, yeah, don't don't let the word out.
Yeah. It's awesome. So when we started this story, you said this was a journey towards forgiveness.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Yeah. So, there's two things that I really struggled with in life. One was pride. One was forgiveness. It's almost nurtured in the business world.
Pride or forgiveness?
Both.
Okay.
There was a model that we followed. Never admit fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's in the business world, that is the model you follow. Never admit fault. That's what media relations teams are designed for. You don't ever talk to reporters. Like when you're lower on the totem pole, you don't get the privilege of talking to reporters. You send them all to us. You never admit fault. All this kind of mentality that's pushed in at a young leadership level, all the way into, and you embrace it, but you realize what it's really there for as you get higher up. So you're taking man's human nature and you're validating it. Mm-hmm. And so both the pride and the lack of forgiveness were already in me. But now when it's said like it's okay to defend ourselves, or it's okay, like then you start to validate it in other areas too, in your personal life. Like it becomes a core belief. Mm-hmm. And so if we're looking at the situation and we're saying, hey, like you've got past it, everything's going better, your life's going better. Everyone on the outside would be like, man, everything's clicking for Ben. If you ask my family how many times I've been on vacation with them over those many years, or I wouldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't do anything. I didn't have friends. Mm-hmm. The amount of friends that I had, I could count on one hand. I could count on one finger. Like it was me. Mm-hmm. I didn't spend time with people. I didn't trust anybody. There was the hatred that I had at 16 and 17. I was now validating, because I'd forgiven people. Like that's what I thought. I had forgiven people. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty tough journey to go through, but it wouldn't be till 2022. 2021, the beginning of 2021, when I would actually understand what it means to forgive somebody. Like I'd always said, like, yeah, I forgave him. I forgave this person. I forgave that person. Mm-hmm. But there was extreme hatred inside.
And you didn't realize that?
I refused to admit it.
Okay.
Maybe I realized it subconsciously.
Yeah. It's one thing to say it, another thing to actually do it, right? Again, phoning it in as opposed to actually doing it. Okay.
So there's this, so we say we forgive and forget, right? Mm-hmm. We don't forget. Mm-hmm. Like that's the problem that's the thing about being a human, is like we forgive, we don't forget. The forgetting part is more in line of just don't dwell on it. Mm-hmm. So forgiveness moves you past dwelling on it. Like when I was just working to suppress dwelling on it and never dealing with it, I was allowing myself to say I forgave just because I had consumed my thought process with crunching numbers, organizing freight flow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even want to be around. I didn't want to go to baseball games to watch my son play baseball. I didn't want my mind to have freedom. Mm. I didn't want it to have space to evaluate.
But what happened in 2022 that helped you realize that was,
so I just moved back and I was dealing with some things. My brother was renting my house and I had just left my long-term 18-year career, and my brother was renting my house, and I was just coming back and having him move out, and I was going to come in and remodel and do some things like that. I owned a house up in Cameron, and I was tearing out the kitchen, and there was a lot of things just weighing on my mind. I always went to church.
Mm-hmm.
I always was faithful in investing my time into things at church, participated in the music ministries, taught Sunday school classes, Bible studies, Awanas programs. But it was just doing a job.
Mm-hmm.
It was doing a job that I believed in, but once again, it's still just doing a job.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like somebody needed to fill this role.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just did the things to help out. But I didn't want the response, obviously didn't want to take a pastoral role or anything like that. And I'm tearing out this house, and I'm just overwhelmed. Not with the work. I'm loving the work. But I'm finally doing work that I can do. It's like when you mow your yard,
Mm-hmm.
you can mow subconsciously and just think really actively and clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I'm doing construction, I can do it without even thinking about it. Like I can just go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like mowing the yard for most people. And I was having to process and deal with a lot of stuff. And it was the one type of job that I could do that I could not keep my mind busy.
Mm.
And the Spirit of God was really heavy on me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like poking and poking and poking. And you got to realize, like, all this time, like, I interviewed for a job for Texas. I interviewed for 2 jobs for Texas. I ended up in North Dakota for a job that I didn't want to interview for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even apply for it. You end up in these spaces that you're running from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't realize that this whole entire time I've been running from this space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this wasn't something that I could avoid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It was something saying, you got to deal with this. You got to deal with this. And so I began the hardest thing I think I've ever done in my life. And that's recognizing that I needed to forgive people. I was holding them hostage to their sins. I was holding them hostage to their bad deeds. I was not allowing them to live in freedom that God was willing to give them. I thought they still deserved punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had put me in a place that I didn't feel like I deserved.
Mm-hmm. And the world would justify that.
The
world would say they deserve that. You know, you have every right to feel the way that you do.
Yeah.
You know, you're not.
Yeah, they would support your attitude of being a victim.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy.
And you were a victim.
I was.
Right.
I didn't even want to talk to people about it.
Right.
I wouldn't even talk about this to any. In fact, like most of the people that I knew from down here
mm-hmm.
knew me from the accident.
Mm-hmm.
Not much more than that. Unless they worked with me, they knew me from the accident.
Yeah. So didn't you run into one of the guys again that was a part of the incident at some point?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was tough. I think that was, so if we take just 2 stepping stones, because these 2 stepping stones that we missed through, I realized that I need to actually embrace forgiveness. I start forgiving everyone. Like, it didn't stop with them. I realized it was much bigger.
Mm-hmm. I
was holding everyone accountable.
Want to give an example?
Of people I was forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hostile towards my brother. I was nice to him,
mm-hmm.
but I was angry.
Just didn't let it go emotionally, mentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I felt like because instead of recognizing his situation and recognizing that there was some hardship going on,
mm-hmm.
My trying to continue to bail him out and support him because of my love for his kids, but the whole time having an absolute hatred towards him. because he couldn't manage life the same way I manage life. And I began to I began to forgive everyone. And in doing that, I began to recognize that what true forgiveness to me that God had given me was. Because I think that in realizing that you've been forgiven, you've been given the capacity to forgive. And it didn't make those things acceptable. It just meant that I'm no longer holding the weight of the outcomes. I've turned it over. So now it's between you and someone else because it's right with you and me.
Yeah.
Forgiveness doesn't require or demand a response. I think people say, well, I forgive, but I'm not going to let them come back into my space. Well, you didn't forgive then. You lied.
Yeah.
It's what you did.
Yeah. Some people are like, too, like it's only forgiveness if you actually tell the person you forgave them. And I don't believe that.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's a condition of the spirit. It's a condition of the heart.
Yeah. It'll show in your actions.
Yeah.
I began to start to pray for the people. I began to pray for people who had done things against me. I began to pray for myself that the people who would forgive me that I'd done things against. Because let's face it, the world's not a one-way street where everybody's against you.
Right.
You're against a lot of people.
Feels like that sometimes. Yeah. Again, it's easier to identify as a hero than the villain.
Yeah. Yeah. So we take those two little stepping stones, recognizing that, hey, you know what? This is a big mess I've got myself in, where I just have extreme frustration, where I just want to avoid people, consume myself with work, and not actually have to deal with any problems, because dealing with people means that there's problems. I just wanted to write them all off. We're transactional and relationship only. Moving forward, I become a part of Rayville Christian Union Church. We don't have to go through all the details.
We won't do it this time. We'll do that in our next episode. Hopefully.
So last November, last October, it was last year. One of our church members was sitting at their mom's bedside. She was getting ready to pass. And I show up, because that's what I do. I'm a pastor. I show up, I sit down. I'm having this conversation with a family, listening to conversations around me, just being patient and waiting. And a family comes in. A young man and his father. I say young man, he's a little older than me, actually. And they sit down next to me. And as soon as I see this guy, I'm like, I know him. I know him. I didn't know him by his face, but I knew him by his hands. And this guy's got some massive paws. He sits down right next to me because that's the only seat that was available. Now, I've just done a 3-sermon series on forgiveness in the church from behind the pulpit.
No pressure.
And the man who sits down next to me, I'm looking at him like, I know him from somewhere. And I'm asking him these questions. What's your name? Are you related to so-and-so? And his dad's trying to fill in this gaps with him on like how they're related to somebody. And I didn't care. I wasn't trying to find anything out about him. I was just trying to figure out his last name.
Yeah, the connection.
Because I felt like I knew who it was. Even though I'd never seen this guy before that day. And I don't ever remember seeing him after. And as I'm sitting there and realize who this is, I got deathly quiet. Because that was when I realized, like, this was the guy at the accident who helped start this entire thing. This is why I am here. This is why why I can't think rational thought. And I sat there quiet the whole time. The guy's like, his dad's like, what's your name? I said, Ben. I wouldn't say my last name or anything. Like, I'm just like, I'm just blown away, like, we're in this space. I can't think clearly.
that fight or flight sort of
Yeah.
thing.
You
Adrenaline.
see red.
Yeah.
Have you been in that moment before?
More
Like the whole world just looks red. You're like,
anger is my go-to emotion.
Cool.
Like
How's that working out?
Oh baby, I've done some work. But yeah, so it's a bottle you don't open. It's just a bottle you don't open. But I understand that. I'm trying to just share that I think I might understand a bit about where you're coming from in that.
Well, that's exactly where I was.
Mm-hmm.
You just have that moment where you just feel red. Everything feels hot. Your heart, it's almost like you can hear every heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like it's beating fast, but it's so loud. It echoes through your body.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like everybody's staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just waiting. And it was just a couple moments later, he stood up, said, "Dad, I think we need to go." I don't know if he knew who I was, but I knew in that moment if I didn't stand up and shake his hand, and what I said to him is, if there's anything you need, I'll be there for you. Because I had said a lot of things the previous 3 weeks from behind a pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was being challenged and tested and how I was going to live those out. It was a pretty surreal moment. Probably one of the hardest moments and the closest I've ever been. Because you got to remember, like, I went through court cases and these guys asked, "Hey, can we give them a hug? Can we tell them we're sorry?" And the other kid said, "Yeah." I said, "No, I didn't want him near me." Here we are in this moment. This guy's sitting next to me. He gets up to leave. I stand up, shake his hand. I said, "Hey, if there's anything you need, your uncle has my phone number. The member of our church. Please reach out. I'll be there for you." He left.
This is the guy that swung on you, hit you, put you in the hospital.
This is the guy that would start it.
Yeah.
Not the guy who started the conversation.
Yeah.
The guy who started the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
yeah, that's what forgiveness looks like.
I turn and just go back to silence. They leave the room and this guy goes, "Do you know him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He goes, he had a pretty rough life. I'm like, "Yeah, it's a story for another day." We sat there in that moment. This was a moment for to focus on his mom, not to focus on me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you truly forgive, you'll recognize those things. If you haven't forgive, that would have been a perfect opportunity to start some gossip, to start some rowdy conversation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we get through that moment. A couple weeks later, I sit down and I tell him exactly my relationship to this person and how that all panned out. And there was some surprise there. But I don't look at that and be like, "Oh, look at what I've accomplished."
Mm-hmm.
I can truly say, I cannot believe that this is the person that I became.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that this is the mold that I'm being pushed into.
Mm-hmm. It's a story that doesn't weave together unless there's a bigger purpose in it.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, at that point it's 2005-ish to 2022, right? I mean, we're 15, 17 years later.
Oh yeah. More than that. Yeah.
This is,
yeah, that's right. It'd be almost 19.
yeah. So this is
19, 20 years. 19,
this is a long time coming. And the world would say you have every right to be upset. The world would say you have every right to feel that victim mentality. And the world would even say you had every right to knock that guy's teeth loose next time you saw him, right? Yeah.
I guarantee he's gone through way more than what I could ever do to him.
So there it is. Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot here to unpack.
I think, there's a lot of people who have already served way more punishment than I could ever hand out. Yeah. It's easy to wish more on people than what you think they got.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how long of a prison sentence should someone have to serve for it to be? But when you're in that situation,
did he go to prison?
He didn't.
Okay.
Not that one. The other two did.
Yeah.
How long of a prison sentence do you think you would want to serve before you'd want people to start realizing that you truly were repentant?
Mm-hmm.
I can't evaluate repentance, but I can evaluate my forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not for me to evaluate somebody else's.
Yeah. Well, going back to the rapid fire, what was the question? I lost it.
Was it the one on forgiveness?
I think it was. Yeah, or you becoming who you thought you'd be, or somebody completely different. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was one question you threw in there that said if you had a title of your life or something like that.
Oh yeah, I pulled that one out because I was thinking I would think that one was stupid. I thought that was stupid, so I just thought, I'm going to pull it. But what is it? If you had the title of your life, what would it be?
Broke in.
Broke in.
Yeah. Most people
like a play on words. Broken.
Yeah, most people use
broken.
Broken. I have a broken life. I would say I have a broken life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have a favorite jacket?
Do I have a favorite jacket? Like sports jacket or
any jacket? Favorite work jacket?
Yeah.
Where you get a lot of stuff done.
Oh yeah, that classic. Ain't nothing cool till you wear the new off. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You notice how you get something brand new that looks really nice and snazzy, and it's rough, chafes your neck and stuff like that. And then you wear the thing that has been out in the sun, isn't even the same color, like, and it's broken. It's usable. I honestly think that we got to get to a point where we take what's broken and it's broken to where it's usable. And I think there's a lot of people who don't realize that it's the brokenness that breaks you in to make you effective.
Yeah.
And so I would just challenge anyone out there who's looking at their hardship as their story. That's such shallow thinking. Your struggle isn't your story. That's what sets you up to actually have a story. Your story is not your struggle. Your story is what's next.
Yeah.
It's what comes after it. It's how you deal with your struggle. But people who, like, I went through this and I had this bad moment, and okay, everybody's got a story. But what'd you do next? Like, what is next? What does tomorrow look like for you?
Yeah. That was the question. Would you rather know God's full plan in your life or have to trust him daily without clarity? This is a living example of that.
I would have avoided his plan.
Right. Yeah. And trusting him daily in going through this process the way that you have has now resulted in clarity and real purpose and a beautiful wife and 5 awesome kids. And, and it's like, what's the point of separation? Whereas, like, if this didn't happen to me, my life would never have been the same, right? I mean, it's arguable to say, if I hadn't have gotten my face beat in, I wouldn't have met Amanda. I wouldn't have the kids. Right? You know what I mean? Like, the bifurcation.
Imagine if I went and saw these guys and I said, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Like, that's like a different line of thinking than like, shame on you.
Yeah.
I can't believe, but
thank you. Stuart Olinger is one of my best friends. And we were talking about that being of just a fantastic word for the experience that you're in. Thank you for the ability to suffer when you're running. Thank you for the ability to suffer when you're working out. Thank you for that feeling of exhaustion when you've laid it all out there in some athletic endeavor, or, thank you to the person who revealed themselves for being an a-hole and, helped you work through that. You know what I mean? Like, thank you is a very powerful word.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's beneficial to both parties.
Mm-hmm.
If we take this whole conversation, we just we were to look at the journey, I would say that it did more to prepare me
mm-hmm.
than it did to disable me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be able to understand how to serve and love and care for people today the way I know how to do. My dad's a good example, but my dad's not a better teacher than having to go through it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and
then the Lord's will, the plan for your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. At some point you got to look back and realize that God allowed this to happen.
Yeah.
And then
he absolutely did. No one could have prepared me
mm-hmm.
for something like that. And no one could have got me out of something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that he was able to bring me through it.
Yeah.
And then on the backside of that, bring out about all these blessings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's leave it there. Let's on that, let's say thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for transparency, right? Your perspective on these things. I mean, I'm going to say thank you for your example, willingness to talk about them. You know, a lot of time you can tell you've done the work, right? And you can tell now on the backside, there's fruit to yield from your experience, and you're willing to share that with people. I think is going to make a big difference in people's lives. I want to have you back real soon because we didn't even talk about your marriage and your experience.
That's the best part.
I know, man. That's what I'm saying. Like we have so much more to talk about. And
I wish people, I hope people desire to know awesome things. And I'm so thankful to your listeners who help support and are a part of what's going on here. But man, I hope and pray that people don't listen to your podcast and listen to these stories and ever think, oh, this poor person. No. I wish if they could see some of these people in the backside of that. Oh my goodness. What's next is so much better. And who more to thank than God?
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So
that's awesome. All right. We'll leave it there. And
thanks a lot.
Ben St. Pierre, have a great day, everybody.
Yeah.